5 o'clock on the dot this Monday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And looks like some warmer weather, summer-like, and showers before the end of the week. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Well, the president of Iran is dead. So are other top Iranian government officials. Full report in a moment. But first, here in Nashville, Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after dad left the car running to grab some groceries. Channel 4's Jordan James says it happened at the Whole Foods store downtown.
Metro Police say that child is doing fine. They were found inside of the vehicle about 2.5 miles away from the Whole Foods store located here along Broadway. In terms of what led up to this, investigators said that a parent went to the Whole Foods store to pick up a DoorDash order, and as they went inside, they left their 3-year-old child inside of their running Jeep. While inside, this man allegedly got inside and drove off.
Yeah, the child in the car again found safe, and Channel 4 says charges could be pending against that DoorDash father. Right now in Iran, State TV confirming President Ebrahim Raisi and 8 others were killed in a helicopter crash Saturday. So who was the president of Iran?
Raisi was a hardline conservative who was president for close to 3 years and seemed poised to win re-election next year. He was strongly opposed to both Israel and the U.S. Recently, he supported the hundreds of drones and missiles launched at Israel in response to the Israeli strike on Tehran's consulate in Syria. It's still unclear what exactly caused the crash, but Iranian state media says it went down as it was crossing mountain terrain in heavy fog.
Inez de la Cuterra says Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini has appointed the first vice president as acting president until elections can be held this summer. And back here at home, some encouraging news about your grocery bills.
What we're going to see is just about every major retailer getting involved, lowering prices, adding more store brands, adding higher quality store brands.
Well, that's supermarketguru.com editor Phil Lempert, who says the Labor Department reports prices for food at home fell by 0.1% in April. Prices on some items, like eggs, dropped by more than 7%. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
After another winning week for the Dow and S&P 500 indexes, with the Dow at a new record high over 40,000, no fewer than 10 Federal Reserve officials will make speeches or comments on a panel throughout this week. Other factors that could affect stock prices include existing home and new home sales, some manufacturing reports Thursday, along with the weekly first-time applications for unemployment insurance Thursday, and another report on consumer sentiment Friday. Boeing shareholders on Friday approved company chief David Calhoun's over $32 million compensation package. Calhoun says Boeing is finishing a plan to fix its manufacturing problems. Bike shops boomed early in the pandemic. Now the boom has gone bust. A surge of interest in cycling pushed sales up 64% to over $5 billion in 2020, according to the retail tracking service Cicada. No more.
Let's check futures ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street. Looks like Dow futures up 23, S&P up 10, NASDAQ up 46. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mans.
And go, my fellow Americans.
We talk news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5:07, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And welcome on into your Monday, May 20th. Feels like a Monday already. I've only been on the air for like 35 seconds, but that's okay. I've got some great audio. Few people think that I screw up speaking every once in a while. Wait till you hear what Joe Biden said at 5:35, and I think I'm safe to play the latest Biden blunder. That is coming up at 5:35 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But, you know, Biden had a lot of things to say over the weekend, and I'm going to get into some of them because, you know, it is so incredibly frustrating for somebody, and I know that a lot of you folks are the same way, where we know the truth and we know what's going on in America today. And part of what's going on in America, much of what's going on in America, is clearly, obviously, Joe Biden's fault. And so he was speaking at Morehouse College. That is one of these historically black colleges and universities. This was over the weekend. And of course, you know, we talked about this on Friday, where the president is failing in the polls. He is failing miserably at the polls. And so what does he do? He goes out and he does the same old pandering that the Democrat Party has been doing for years, of course, and that is Biden style.
To show you democracy, democracy, democracy is still the way. If black men are being killed in the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy.
So he's sitting there, Joe Biden, and he's in front of all of these students at Morehouse College. And he talks about how white supremacy is killing black men in the streets, right? Did you hear what he said? This is, listen for this one more time. And by the way, what I'm doing is I'm debunking a lot of the lies that Joe Biden told over the weekend.
To show you democracy, democracy, democracy is still the way. If black men are being killed in the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy.
So he says black men are being killed in the streets, and he references white supremacy. And I guess I'm a little confused because is it really white supremacy that is killing? I mean, let's just be honest here. Is it really white supremacy that is killing black men in the streets? I mean, the president himself said that black men are being killed in the streets. Or is it gang affiliation that is killing black men in the streets? I mean, think about that. The last stats I looked at, it was like 90% black on black crime, where black men are being killed in the streets, and that is by another black person, typically another black man. So is it really white supremacy, Joe Biden, or is it black on black crime? Now, listen, I wouldn't even be bringing this up except that Biden told lie after lie after lie. And so I'm watching this speech, and I'm wondering, is anyone at Morehouse, you know, all of these great college graduates, who I'm sure they're all very smart, and I'm not meaning that in a snarky way. I mean, I do believe that they're very smart people, these college graduates at Morehouse. And so I do wonder if any of those college graduates heard that statement and thought, well, that's not what the stats say. It's not white supremacy that is killing black men in the streets, which is what the president said. It's other, you know, black men. Now, is this an uncomfortable conversation to have? Well, no, because I'm speaking to the stats. That's what the stats say. Now, look, I don't stand by white supremacy, but I also don't stand by race-baiting lies that the president is saying that are really geared to gin up votes. He also spoke about other things as well. I want to get into this comment that the president made, and it's about what is going on in the black communities. Because part of what he had to say also is filled with lies and a narrative. Here's what he said.
Instead of a trail of broken promises, we're investing more money than ever in black families and black communities.
All right, so again, remember, this is all about pandering. This is all about pandering, and this is all about trying to gin up votes from the black community. So listen one more time.
Instead of a trail of broken promises, we're investing more money than ever in black families and black communities.
All right, so one of the things that I would ask is think about the environment that these college graduates are graduating into. They want to be able to make their own money. They want to be able to go out and buy a home, buy a car, pay off some debt, earn a living that enables them to keep up with Joe Biden's inflation. Bidenflation. And so he can talk all day long and twice on Sunday.
Instead of a trail of broken promises, we're investing more money than ever in black families and black communities.
About investing in black communities, investing in, black neighborhoods and whatever. But you see, it's my contention that black Americans, white Americans, all Americans basically want to be in a position to succeed. Basically want to be able to be put in a situation where they are able to support their own family. And that's the bottom line. Now, President Biden, because he is trying to buy votes and try and manipulate the black community through racist conversations and racist statements, what he's really trying to do is just provoke racism and trying to manipulate these students and the black community at large to vote for him and vote for the Democrats, because he understands that they understand that the Democrat Party has abandoned them and that Joe Biden, his economy itself, has put them in the position not to succeed, but to fail. And so for Joe Biden, he's not able to provide that environment where everyone wins. So he just kept on race baiting.
I have more African Americans in high places, including on the court, than any president in American history.
All right. So again, if you missed that, he talks about how he's got African Americans as part of his administration.
I have more African Americans in high places, including on the court, than any president in American history.
So sadly, I will say to Joe Biden, the top three really don't necessarily represent all that great. Ketanji Brown Jackson couldn't tell us what a woman is. Remember that whole thing? Kamala Harris, black vice president, incredibly unpopular. Cringe Jean-Pierre, widely considered the worst press secretary in the history of press secretaries. It's like she's a joke. By the way, amongst both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans. Oh, but the lies continued, and we're going to, and the reason I'm playing these is because I think it is important for you to understand what we as a party are up against. Now, on the one hand, I think it's actually kind of positive for conservatives that Joe Biden is lying, and they're all such provable lies, because the longer that he does this, the better it's going to be for conservatives, because I believe that by and large, these young college graduates at Morehouse, I believe that they understand and they know that the president is pandering and the president is lying. We've got a couple more sound bites for you coming up at 5:15. Time to check the roads on Super Talk 99.7. Thank you very much. 5:15 on Nashville's Morning News. As far as your weather today, sounds like a pretty nice day, partly sunny, and a high of 87. Right now, 64 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Going over some of the, some of the more important, although I don't think any of these are really all that important, but, some of the more important audio bites from Joe Biden, the president, as he was speaking to graduates at Morehouse College. Now, remember, on Friday, we went over some of the things that the president is doing to try to win back the support of the black community. And he was, one of the things he was going to do was, as we're talking about right now, he was going to give the commencement at Morehouse College. He was going to go to some NAACP function. He was going to go to I think it was the African American Museum of Art and History or whatever the heck it was. But I mean, nothing, at least to me, nothing that will solve the problems and the plight of black Americans. And that's really rooted right now. The biggest one, I believe, is the economy, isn't it? And because he can't fix that problem, because he can't fix Bidenflation, then he continues to lie, and he continues to just throw out these hand grenades of lying and racism, including this one that has been debunked. I cannot tell you how many times.
Today in Georgia, they won't allow water to be available to you while you wait in line to vote in an election. What in the hell's that all about? I'm serious. Think about it.
So it's political organizations who are not allowed to give out water. So if you're running for office, understandably, your staff cannot go out and hand folks bottles of water.
Sounded like about 3 people clapped.
Well, one of the headlines out there today is that the president got mild applause. Meantime, did you see, I'm going to get back to my audio bites, but did you see Trump over the weekend? He was in Minnesota, and I think he gave another speech. It was on Saturday night. It was either Pennsylvania or Michigan, I think. But he had thousands of people going incredibly wild. Coming up during the break, I'm going to tweet out a really great troll that former President Trump, posted on social media. It is amazing. I'm going to get to that here. As soon as we get into the break, I want you to check out my Twitter feed at Dan Mandis Show, because it really is a great troll that people took notice of over the weekend, because basically it's Donald Trump in front of thousands of screaming, fans. And then you've got a sad and lonely Joe Biden futzing with a chair on the beach. And it really does paint a really vivid picture of where America seems to be anyway today. There's another social media video where the title was, does it really matter if the presidential motorcade drives down the streets of Washington, D.C., when literally nobody cares? And it's just like there's nobody lining the streets. There's nobody, waving at the motorcade. I think I saw one person who was taking a video, and really that's about it.
And they were probably recording something else.
They probably were. So the president, let's see if I got any. Oh, yeah, of course. He did bring up January 6th. This is, he brought up January 6th a number of different times, and he'll continue to do so because it's part of all they got.
Insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol with Confederate flags are called patriots by some. Not in my house. Black police officers, black veterans protecting the Capitol were called another word, as you recall.
So that is, of course, I'm here to tell you, clearly, obviously, very few Republicans or conservatives use that word. I mean, that is, I will tell you, my belief and the truth, that very few people in America these days, in my opinion, actually use that word. But that was the testimony from those folks on the scene. Use of that word is never okay, period. Now, we can talk about the use of that word in songs, in the culture, but the reality is that politicizing that word shows the desperation of Joe Biden, shows the desperation of the Democrat Party. I think that's part of it as well.
They don't see you in the future of America, but they're wrong. To me, we make history, not erase it. We know black history is American history.
Has there been ever any Republican or conservative that wanted to erase black folks from the history books?
Not that I know of.
Not at my house.
Maybe President Biden ran into a few when he was driving a truck.
Dodging cicadas, I was.
Maybe that's what it is. And this was the soundbite that really did trigger me this weekend.
They don't see you in the future of America, but they're wrong.
Conservatives and Republicans don't see black folks in the future of America.
They don't see you in the future of America.
What does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? Somebody please ask Corinne Jean-Pierre, what exactly did President Biden mean when he said that they don't see you in the future of America? I'm sorry, but last time I checked, it's Donald Trump and his economy that put far more people across America, regardless of your skin color, in the position to succeed and make your mark on America. It's Biden's economy that is restricting people with all skin colors from succeeding here in the United States of America, and it has been that way really for the last couple of years. So for President Biden, this was a speech that just completely seemed like an act of desperation.
It was probably Clinton's speech back in 92 or 96.
Probably. I mean, here's the deal. It is Joe Biden that has created the America that these college grads are entering. You've got all of this illegal immigration, cities being destroyed by crime and soft on crime DAs. You've got inflation at all-time highs. You've got massive credit card debt. You've got homes that are impossible to buy. You got these students that are graduating into a world where it probably is going to be next to impossible until Donald Trump perhaps gets into office to pay off credit card debt because of those high interest payments, those high interest rates. I mean, look, those aren't black problems. Those aren't white problems. Those are American problems. And so that is, President Biden, and he is, again, clearly desperate. He can't figure out how to win back the black community. And so the only thing that he knows to do is to race bait. And that's it. And if that's all he's got, well, then clearly, and this is really one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up, is that if that really is all that he's got, that is actually a positive for Republicans. Because I just don't think that this is connecting with the American people or the black community. I just don't know if it's connecting with them anymore. I don't. I mean, obviously I'm not black, but the folks that I know who are black, of course, they lean more Republican anyway, but they see this kind of rhetoric as, again, just a sign of desperation when you look at the polls. 524, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, coming up, the audio bite that I've been saving for the Gang of Three Amigos at 5:35. A little bit of a oopsie from the president's speeches over the weekend. So who do you trust when it comes to your money? Now, me, I turned to Paul Winkler years ago, and I still work with him today. Dan Mandis here. A lot of these financial folks, they do say different things, but those same people all have something to sell. So, of course, they're pitching their own products. Now, if you worked for a car company, wouldn't you say that your car is the best? Well, it is the same thing with banks and insurance agents who sell investment products. Now, Paul Winkler is looking out for your best interest, and he's not going to try and sell you something. He's actually going to teach you how to relax about money. Now, you need to know that I get paid every time I do these commercials, but I wouldn't be doing them if I didn't believe in Paul Winkler and his guidance, which has been incredibly valuable to me. By the way, call him. It's a free consultation. Tell him Dan told you to reach out. 615-851-1950. 615-851-1950 for Paul Winkler. 525 on Nashville's Morning News. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
Well, we're talking about the return of summer-like weather. Metro Police looking for a car thief after a DoorDash worker left his car running with his toddler son inside. Iran's president is dead, so other top Iranian officials and former President Trump lands a big endorsement, promises to protect gun rights at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It hasn't happened since 1803. and it won't happen again for 200 years. The double groove is emerging. There could be trillions, and they're coming your way. So what can you do in a time like this? Sit back and enjoy a cup of Cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Tastes great and totally free of noisy insects. It makes a great gift for friends and family. A great way to commemorate this once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Available for a limited time only at rohoelephant.com.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. The heat turns up and we have change at the end of the week, talking about showers and storms. And they could linger into the holiday weekend. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after his DoorDash dad left the car running to grab an order at the Whole Foods downtown. Channel 4's Jordan James says the thief jumped in and sped away.
Officers eventually located both the child and the Jeep in South Nashville near the intersection of Trimble and Lewis Street, which is just over 2 miles away from the store. Meanwhile, the suspect was nowhere near in sight, sparking the search, which continues this morning. And I can tell you, we're still working to find out that parent is facing any charges for leaving their vehicle running, which Metro Police has said increases your chances of becoming a victim in a crime.
Yeah, anyone recognizing the suspect in the images police posted online is asked to call police. Around the world, Ines de la Cuetara says the president in Iran was killed in a helicopter crash.
Iranian state media confirming President Raisi was killed after his helicopter crashed in the country's East Azerbaijan province. Iran's foreign minister was also on board and was also found dead. It's still unclear what caused the crash, but the helicopter went down as it was crossing mountain terrain in heavy fog.
Yeah, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has appointed the first vice president as acting Iranian president until elections can be held this summer. Election 2024 in the USA. Former President Trump campaigning this weekend, picking up an endorsement from the National Rifle Association, telling the group he'll roll back Biden's gun control measures if elected.
Crooked Joe has a 40-year record of trying to rip firearms out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. He's always wanted to do that.
Meanwhile, Trump set to return to the courtroom in New York this morning, where his former lawyer Michael Cohen takes the stand for the final time in that hush money trial. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
537, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Time for the Gang of Three Amigos. Brought to you by My Patriot Supply at preparewithmandis.com. Good morning, Johnny.
Oh, sorry, Dan. I had a little hard of hearing after all the cicadas yesterday. Good morning.
Do you have a problem with the cicadas?
They're everywhere, and man, they're loud.
They are loud. Ken Weaver, good morning, Ken.
Good morning, boys. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll do things out of order because, I actually have some audio of the cicadas in my backyard. You want to hear what I was dealing with all weekend?
Sure.
Lay it on us,
Yep, that's them.
Now, am I the only one that these cicadas, man, they put me right to sleep?
Yeah.
I was, because we spend a lot of time out in my back porch patio thing.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Amy, and beyond that is like the swimming pool and then all of these cicada-laden trees.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is in them, too?
What's that?
Can you hear the frogs, too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially after a storm.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I do love it.
I do, too.
I don't love the cicadas. They're just too loud.
The cicadas surrounded my hot tub over the weekend.
I bet you've got a few in your hot tub.
I bet you do, too.
No, they're not allowed.
Well,
and I don't know if they could take the 104 that I keep my hot tub at.
Good grief!
I got to tell you though, man, I was real impressed with my serve yesterday with my little badminton racket that's electrified.
Oh yeah, you started taking out wasps.
I hit cicadas. A cicada. Man, that dude flew. My wife said, "Wow."
You better be careful, brother Johnny. I told you some of them have lasers.
Oh, not as good as my laser, Ken.
I'll start fighting back.
My laser.
They start peeing on your head.
Yeah, apparently they can do that.
Yeah,
really? They pee on your head?
They can pee on your. Well, I mean, anywhere. Yeah, they can pee on you.
Well, life already does that, so get in line, baby.
Just working radio.
Man, I'm telling you, we had to run the car through the wash yesterday because we came into Nashville Saturday.
Yeah.
So the trip to Nashville and the trip back, I mean, we were covered in cicada guts. Those things are flying all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
They're everywhere.
Absolutely. You know who doesn't like... so the cicadas are lulling me to sleep. So Amy noted that I was just falling asleep all weekend long out on the back porch.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who doesn't like the cicadas? Bandit.
No, they don't. Dogs don't like the cicadas.
I've got to call Zero Res again. This is like getting really old, man. It's like, why are you... They're bugs.
Oh.
Why are you peeing all over the place, man? They're bugs.
Goodness.
And they just... Yeah, it's like they're impacting him like a storm does.
Well, probably the noise. Because I noticed yesterday when I went out in the yard, when I came back in, my ears were ringing.
Yeah.
They were that loud.
My ears already ring, so maybe that's why I don't mind them that much.
Yeah.
Well, it's all that AC/DC you guys listen to.
Yeah, that's it.
Bandit's ears, I mean, your little fella may have extremely sensitive hearing.
Yes.
That may be what's going on with it.
There's something.
Well, he's
there's
sensitive
something.
anyway. He's a sensitive little guy.
He's a sensitive little fella.
Yeah, I could tell by the way he was looking at that guy in the video.
Yes.
With
I know.
very longing eyes.
He forgets. Like, I feed him all the time. And he forgets who actually feeds him. Like, he loves Amy and Riker and the California Closets guy. He pees on my carpet. Moving on. Hey, did you guys hear what Joe Biden said over the weekend?
No.
He said this during his speech. Let's see if you guys can make this out.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Oh, no.
He said,
"Oh goodness."
Let's hear that again, Dan.
You wanna hear that again?
Why not?
This is
goodness.
Our president.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
I just got this vision.
Goodness gracious.
I just got this vision of... Can we say that? Can we say that word on the air?
Apparently we can because he did.
Erectionists.
Yeah.
Where was that? Was that at Morehouse?
No, I think that was a different place. I don't know where that was.
Because I was getting ready to say those college kids would have burst out laughing.
Oh, can you imagine? They were texting each other.
And the erectionists who...
There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
Can I just ask what these erectionists were armed with as they were storming the Capitol?
Tents.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
All right.
Been a lot of tent pitching here lately.
Yes.
Pitching that.
I'd call them patriots.
Goodness gracious.
He just can't help himself. You know what I mean?
No.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, Grandpa.
Oh,
It is funny. I mean, let's face it. It is funny. Now,
yeah, it's hilarious.
follow me on Twitter at Dan Mandis Show. I have gone ahead and tweeted out a great Trump troll. Now, it is a video, and it's got the tale of two political events. Number one is, of course, Donald Trump. Thousands of people, drone coverage. And then there's Joe Biden. and he's on the beach, and he's trying to futz with a chair. Then it cuts back to Trump. We love Trump. Back to Biden. Back to Trump. And again, it's like drone or helicopter footage of thousands of people that are screaming. They've got MAGA hats on, and they're going crazy. Young college kids, older people as well. Everybody just absolutely loving Donald Trump. And you've got, Biden basically walking into those gas stations all by himself or with somebody else and one lone, kid behind the counter.
Are you voting for me in the next election? Hope so. Got any tents here?
Can we talk about your next erection? Listen.
I'm looking forward to the 24 erection. I really am.
And the erectionists who stormed...
That's our president.
Oh, gosh.
That's our president, buddy, right there.
You know what?
And the erectionists who...
Erectionists.
All you folks that voted for him, don't you feel good?
Aren't you proud of your vote, Democrats?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
And the erectionists who...
I mean, who doesn't want to protect us from erectionists?
Hope you vote for me in this election, all you people that did. Don, I'm going to mosey on up and look at that statue.
How about no?
Yeah.
Very good.
And the erectionists who...
Maybe some of them will vote for me.
He said. He said.
In fact, that sounded like a couple of Biden voters right there.
Oh, it did.
Oh, man. You can't make this up.
You really can't.
This guy's... Oh, it's been comedy fodder all...
3183 says erectionist. It's getting hard to defend Joe. Oh, that was a play on words, wasn't it?
Yes.
Didn't get it. Angie says, stop taking the blue pill.
Goodness. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be all day, boys.
Yes, it is. Wait till I debate.
9113, you guys are blanked up. That is hilarious. Oh, someone named Ham.
Hey, Ham.
Somebody named Ham is just sending us laughy faces, laughy face emojis. Hey. All right, very good. I'll take it.
I will too.
I'll also take some eggs.
I just want the ham, man.
I don't know, man.
Play that cut again, man.
Yeah, we got to hear it.
What?
Play that cut again.
Oh, Biden?
Yes.
Yeah, that one done.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Let's see.
My proudest moment.
You know what? Actually, Trump needs to do something with this.
And the erectionists who stormed...
The erectionists.
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Goodness, I'm a juvenile.
He called him patriot.
Listen, can I just be honest?
Oh.
I was actually debating as to whether or not I wanted to play this.
And the erectionists who stormed...
This morning.
Goodness.
You should.
You know why? Because You know what? It's such low-hanging fruit.
Well, it is.
But you know what?
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill.
You know what I do? So what I do, I struggle. This is a moment in the mind of Mandis. I struggle with whether or not I should play this, and then, quite frankly, I just play it too much.
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
It's either one or the other.
Those erectionists looking for Melania. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Goodness. Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
You know. I wish I could
Biden.
say. I wish I could say that maybe that's AI, but I know darn right well it's not.
No. You can't come up with that, man.
No, it's him.
Oh, goodness.
You guys want to do something else?
I wish I could see the reaction in the crowd.
Me too.
If there was a crowd.
Yeah, of the 7 people that were there.
They probably started giggling.
Oh, I'm sure
I mean,
they did.
Did he say what we thought that he said? And then, as I said, people just start, texting back and forth.
And he had no idea.
I loved ABC News coverage of his Morehouse thing, man. I mean, like,
did they?
Any cuts they ran, I'm telling you, none of his comments that they ran, the sound clips that they ran, were longer than 3 seconds. It would just be him just, and then they would show the faces of the students, and they'd just be sitting there stone-faced.
Yeah, because they have to know.
You can't run anything longer than 3 seconds from this man.
No.
He'll screw it up.
Well, like that.
Yes, he'll call.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Ken, I think this is about 3 seconds.
Calls and the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
That's 3 seconds. By the way, 0229, Mandis with the unintentional hilarity. The erectionist is low-hanging fruit.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Sure is.
See, I didn't pick up on that the first time I did it, but 0229. You know what, 0229? Get your mind out of the gutter.
Can't help it.
Gosh.
All right, we got to move on. People are now play the ED commercial.
Oh.
Please.
Yeah, we got a new one of those, don't we?
Oh, I'm sure we do.
I think we do. At least they're not talking about oily stools this morning. Surprised Biden doesn't.
Whew, going for that 18 to 34 number, man.
Yeah, we sure are.
Let me tell you. You know what is more emblematic than the Biden economy than oily stools?
Oily stools and ED commercials.
There you go.
Oh,
that's
there
what's
you go.
causing it. Bidenomics.
Johnny, can we make sure the air checker is erased and we don't?
Oh, dude, this is the best of right here.
We don't best of this.
Oh.
This is best of material, Dan.
I tell you what, all of a sudden I enjoy this Monday morning.
Yeah, it got a lot better.
That was funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, that brightened my day right there.
You think I should unload this on Chris Hand? Chris has to have
he's
this.
got it.
Oh, he's
You think
got
he's
it.
got
I'm
it?
sure he's got that.
Calls and the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
I can't wait to hear what Murphy does with it.
Yes.
You know what? I'll make sure he has it. Just for the fun. We'll just keep the theme going all day long.
Yes.
Goodness.
That's WTN, Erection 24. Erection coverage right here.
Your erection station.
Yeah, our erection station.
Goodness.
Come out to our big erection party.
All right, we got to stop, man. Listen, I just want to.
We're going to be at Hustler Hollywood. That's where we're watching the returns.
Dude, I got to do the news in 9 minutes.
I just want to make sure everyone understands this really is an adult-oriented radio station.
Yes, it is, Dan.
We talk about adult themes.
Yes, we do. Very
And-
adult.
Listen, this is the President of the United States, man.
Yes,
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
And it is a legit news story. Here's the
Yes, it
thing.
is.
Here's the thing. This is a legit news story because the president clearly, he's not all there mentally. And we've been talking about this for years. And that is just another example. So it is a public service and our duty as radio personalities to bring this to the attention of the people of Tennessee.
So you can make your choice.
Make your choice.
In 2024 for this year's election. Joe Biden.
You know what?
Donald Trump.
I'm supposed to read an advertiser here. I don't think I'm going to, just out of respect to them. Let's see here. It is 5:53 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Whoop, whoop. Ken Weaver.
Yeah.
You get to do news.
Okay.
What's coming up?
Well, apparently a DoorDash driver in Nashville thought it would be okay to leave his 3-year-old son in the car with it running while he went in and grabbed the order. Genius! That did not turn out well. Details at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.54 at Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Dan Mattis here for United Structural Systems. By the way, coming up, some great audio from Donald Trump as he, of course, was hitting the campaign trail as well in Minnesota. Details straight ahead. And why is he in Minnesota? Isn't Minnesota part of that blue wall? Well, yes, it is, as a matter of fact. However, Trump thinks he can break that blue wall. Details straight ahead. Dan Mattis here for USS United Structural Systems. Listen, I'm going to tell you what all of those billboards can't about USS, how great it is to do business with these folks. Now, I can tell you that they're honest, they're competent, and they're fair because I'm a customer. I've had them out to my house several times, and they've told me twice now that what I was worried about was really actually nothing. So when they told me that I had issues, I really did listen. Now, in a few weeks, they'll be doing some foundation repair for me after I found some cracks in my bricks. That's one of the signs that you have foundation issues. Now, again, remember, these things don't get better over time. They actually get worse, and that could mean more expensive to fix. Other signs, by the way, to look out for: sticking doors or windows, uneven flooring, to name just a few. So call them, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. What you really need to do is check out their website at USSTN.com, not only for all the signs that you've got foundation problems, but also the solutions as well. That website, USSTN.com, USSTN.com.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories on this Monday morning. Warmer weather, summer-like on the way, but so too are showers before the end of the week. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. The president of Iran is dead, as are other top Iranian government officials. Got a full report in a moment, but first here in Nashville, Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after dad left the car running to go grab some groceries. He was a DoorDash driver. Channel 4's Jordan James says it happened at the Whole Food store downtown.
Metro Police say that child is doing fine. They were found inside of the vehicle about 2.5 miles away from the Whole Food store located here along Broadway. In terms of what led up to this, investigators said a parent went to the Whole Food store to pick up a DoorDash order, and as they went inside, they left their 3-year-old child inside of their running Jeep. While inside, this man allegedly got inside and drove off.
Again, the child in the car found. The child is safe. Channel 4 says charges could be pending against the father of the child for leaving that car running and the child inside. Right now in Iran, Iranian state TV confirming President Ebrahim Raisi and 8 others were killed in a helicopter crash on Saturday. Ines de la Cutera on who he was.
Raisi was a hardline conservative who was president for close to 3 years and seemed poised to win re-election next year. He was strongly opposed to both Israel and the U.S. Recently, he supported the hundreds of drones and missiles launched at Israel in response to the Israeli strike on Tehran's consulate in Syria. It's still unclear what exactly caused the crash, but Iranian state media says it went down as it was crossing mountain terrain in heavy fog.
Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has appointed the first vice president of Iran as acting president until elections this summer. Back here at home, some encouraging news about your grocery bills.
What we're going to see is just about every major retailer getting involved, lowering prices, adding more store brands, adding higher quality store brands.
That's supermarketguru.com editor Phil Lempert, who says the Labor Department reports prices for food at home fell by 1/5% overall in April, with prices on some items like eggs dropping more than 7%. Market Numbers report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Jim Ryan.
Stock futures ticked higher overnight after the Dow closed above the key 40,000 level for the first time ever on Friday. The S&P rose 0.1% to close near a record of its own. The Nasdaq on Friday slipped a fraction. Rules meant to keep the country's biggest banks from failing may be changing. The Wall Street Journal says lobbying by J.P. Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs apparently changed the minds of regulators who had proposed a hike in the amount of money that banks have to keep on hand. A 2-year hiatus prompted by a test failure finally ended yesterday when Blue Origin's rocket carried paying passengers to the edge of space. Among the customers was 90-year-old Ed Dwight, a retired U.S. Air Force captain selected by President Kennedy in 1961 to be the nation's first black astronaut candidate. Cooler to look at, but maybe easier to lose. Published reports say Apple is working on a slimmer version of the iPhone that likely will be launched next year.
All right, checking futures ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street. Dow futures up 26, S&P up 10, Nasdaq up 49. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thanks, Ken. 6:04 on WTN. Spring cleaning time in the Mandis house. Maybe your house as well. Time to call my friends at Zero Res. They've got a great offer going on right now for you. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned for just $109 plus. You're going to get a free hallway. That is over $70 in savings. Plus, you get a free dryer vent cleaning with air duct cleaning as well. And if you've got some tile that needs attention, that is 20% off. Now, they give you all kinds of ways to save at Zero Res. Now, this is the company that comes to my rescue. You know, the stuff that lives in your carpet. You got your pet germs, odors, stuff that makes you and your kids sick. Well, Zero Res can get most of that junk out of your carpet, leaving you with soft, fluffy carpets that are going to dry twice as fast. And they don't use any harsh chemicals. That means pure safety for your pets and family. Don't forget that great deal. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned for just $109. Plus, you're going to get a free hallway. That is over $70 in savings and a whole lot more. So call them today at 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376. You can book online. ZeroResNashville.com. Zero Res is the right way to clean.
Nashville's morning news with Dan Mans.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
608 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on into Nashville's morning news along with Johnny B. Ken Weaver. Dan Mandis here for your Monday, May 20th. Hope you're doing great. Why is Donald Trump in Minnesota? The former president, he was in Minnesota over the weekend. Now, you know that Biden won Minnesota in 2020 and Hillary won Minnesota by 2 points back in 2016. And so the former president, Donald Trump, he's very close. Right now in the polling, Donald Trump is apparently up by 2. And so to Minnesota, the president goes.
But I want to just start off by saying, hello, Minnesota. This is a great state. We're going to win this state.
And the funny thing is, he said that after 2020, that he would never go back. But he was there. And by the way, Biden also, just so you know, held a campaign event over the weekend as well. One in addition to the speech at Morehouse College that he gave, I guess, down in Georgia. And I played you some audio of that speech in the previous segment. But here's the thing. Things are going so badly for Joe Biden that Donald Trump going to Minnesota, 10 electoral votes there in the state of Minnesota. And so Minnesota's been part of that like blue wall going back, years. And so Trump said that he would never go back after he lost in 2016 and 2020. But now with Biden blundering at every turn, Trump believes that he can break that blue wall. And that's why he was there in Minnesota. Now, again, 10 electoral votes. Pennsylvania has like 19. So if Trump ultimately ends up losing Pennsylvania, I don't know, losing Michigan, whatever, if he can manage to flip Minnesota, that'll be huge in the race to 270.
2 polls came out. One had me 1 point behind. One had me 2 points up. And another one's coming out tomorrow. And the word is that I'm 2 points up. I don't know if that's good or bad. How are you 2 points up to Biden? He can't talk. He can't walk. Can't find his way off a stage. Can't put 2 sentences together. Although he has agreed to debate. So I don't know. Maybe they know something. He's going to be so jacked up for those debates you watch.
Yes. He actually coming up. I've got the audio of him actually calling for a drug test again. Do you know what I think? I think that Trump calling for a drug test, this is part of the news cycle this morning, is that you are going to have a lot of people on the left saying that the former president is making a mockery of this debate. And because he is making a mockery of the debate, then Joe Biden, it kind of gives him an off-ramp where Biden can just say, is he really asking for a drug test? And people will say, yes, he is. And then the Democrats will say, well, then we just shouldn't even participate. He's making a mockery of the whole thing. Doesn't he know that this is supposed to be a very important presidential debate?
Remember that idiot from CNN? Oops, I shouldn't say that. I'm doing a debate for them.
Tapper.
They'll be slightly tougher. No, I have fake Tapper is they said, I just want to debate this guy, but, and I'm going to demand a drug test, too, by the way. I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite. I said, is that Joe up there? A beautiful robe? And by the end of the evening, he's like, well, he was exhausted, right? No, we're going to demand a drug test. But fake Tapper and these people, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fair. I think they're going to be fair. And if they're not, you have to deal with it, right? You have to deal with it.
You do. You have to be. You have to deal with it.
Fake Tapper.
Oh, fake Tapper. This is what I spend my weekend doing. So fake Tapper is great. And then I'm sitting there thinking, what name could he inflict upon Dana Bash? Because she is always bashing Donald Trump. It is just like. And conservatives, by and large. So you know that it's not going to be fair.
Oh, he'll come up with something.
He's got to. There's got to be something that you can hang on Dana Bash. Anyway, remember Trump when he said this on Hugh Hewitt.
You know that white stuff that they happen to find, which happened to be cocaine in the White House? I don't know. I think something's going on there, because I watched his State of the Union, and he was all jacked up at the beginning. By the end, he was fading fast. There's something going on there. I want to debate, and I think debates with him, at least, should be drug tested. I want to
Mr. President, are you suggesting President Biden's using cocaine?
I don't know what he's using, but that was not, hey, he was higher than a kite.
So I do. I think that his advisors, Joe Biden's advisors, are going to advise Joe Biden, this is your opportunity to get out of these debates, because Trump is clearly not taking this seriously, and there's no way we're going to go through the demeaning act of having the president of the United States drug tested. But here's the deal. I'd be willing to bet, and I have not seen polling, and maybe if somebody has seen polling on whether or not the American people believe that Joe Biden should be drug tested going into a debate, I think that he should be drug tested. And I would be willing to bet that if polling is done on this, if Trump is willing to be drug tested, then Biden should be drug tested. Absolutely. He won't be, but I would like to see it, because I do believe that Biden, we've all talked about it. Scott Desjardins was on the Congressman Scott Desjardins, who's also a medical doctor. He says, no doubt, Joe Biden was on something. By the way, the question is, why is Donald Trump in Minnesota? This is from Politico, because a lot of people on the left are saying, oh, this trip to Minnesota for Donald Trump, it's nothing but a head fake. Really? Because let me tell you something, leftists, there were like thousands of people going to see Donald Trump in Minnesota. That is no head fake. I don't believe that Joe Biden could get that many people in Minnesota if he tried. So Politico, they've got a headline, and I'm going to read it to you coming up, along with some more audio. Trump's Minnesota dream might not be fantasy. Details straight ahead, 6:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. Thank you very much. Partly sunny today, a high of 87. Right now, 64 at Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. So a lot of the media outlets will tell you, oh, Donald Trump doesn't have a chance in Minnesota. It's part of the blue wall. Politico, Trump's Minnesota dream might not be fantasy. They say senior Trump advisors presenting new polling data to top donors earlier this month, showing slide decks that argued Minnesota is among the states where Donald Trump could expand his map in November. They show President Joe Biden and Donald Trump tied at 40% in Minnesota. This part's important. Without independent Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as an option, Trump is up by 5 points in Minnesota. So no matter how you look at it, Trump is doing better in Minnesota than he has or any Republican has in a long time. I mean, going along with what Politico has to say, they continue on. And while even Republicans in the state are skeptical, Trump's hopes are not without merit. Trump is running ahead of Biden in swing state general election polls. And if Trump can replicate his 2016 performance, when he lost the state by fewer than 45,000 votes, he could at least put a scare in Democrats. So again, Democrats are saying, oh, Trump, in Minnesota, this is nothing but a head fake. I don't know. And by the way, why wouldn't the former president try to go to as many states as possible? It makes all the sense in the world. And by the way, he did get into quite a few policy discussions.
Now they want to go to an EV. Everybody has to have an electric car. Is that wonderful? They don't go far. And by the way, that ends on the first day. First day.
Now, let me tell you something. This could be, the whole EV thing, this could be a big winning issue for Donald Trump. Just a headline from earlier today, or I think maybe it was yesterday. Vulnerable Democrat Sherrod Brown joining bipartisan group in Congress to kill Biden's EV plan. You've got Joe Manchin and others who say that this mandate and the tax credit rules with it, they just don't make sense. And people don't want the government telling them what to do. They don't want the government telling them what to buy. And that's part of what Biden is trying to do with his EV mandate. You've got all these auto manufacturers who are losing billions of dollars because of Biden's mandate.
And if you want to buy it, you can buy one. I'm not knocking it. If you want to go, 3-4 miles and then back home, plug it in, get ready for...
Yeah, and you know what the thing is? And I saw this over the weekend. A couple of different stories on this. The auto manufacturers are claiming that they're losing $100,000 on every electric vehicle it produces. That's insanity. Really? They're losing $100,000 on every EV that it produces? They say in 2024, they expect to lose over $5 billion producing these things. That's Ford. Ford is going to lose, they say, over $5 billion producing EVs. And Joe Biden, bowing at the altar of, Mother Earth. Bottom line is, these things are too expensive, even with subsidies. And no, Americans don't trust them.
And now they want to go all-electric army tanks, okay? Do you believe? We blast the hell out of an enemy. We do it in an environmentally friendly way. What are we doing?
A great comment from Donald Trump. By the way, I could not confirm any of the specifics on the whole electric EV army tanks, but whatever. Here's the thing, is that they're too expensive. People don't trust them. The auto manufacturers don't want to produce them, at least not by a mandate. And so that's also part of the news cycle this morning. And there's some legal eagles out there, some folks that are watching this particular subject that are saying that this actually could be a very big issue heading into the election here in November. By the way, Trump also talked about shrinkflation. This is actually really funny because, and this is why Trump is so great. And Joe Biden, let's face it, he could not do this. Donald Trump pulls out a Tic Tac, and apparently it's smaller than your average Tic Tac.
I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Could you? This is called Biden Tic Tacs.
There you go.
This costs more money than the one that was like 10 times bigger. This is inflation.
I mean, shrinkflation. And I thought that was really interesting. And see, that's the whole point. At one moment in the speech last night, Trump was talking about how the teleprompter, fell over, died, whatever it is. And he was just riffing. And you could tell that he was on fire. Joe Biden could not do that. We were joking earlier at some of the things that Biden had said in one of his speeches over the weekend. And it's like the president, the current president, he can't go more than 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds without shanking something. And so as Trump is sitting there talking about inflation and shrinkflation, consumer confidence is way down. Yet people are spending like members of Congress. Now, why is that? Why is it that for a lot of people, consumer confidence is way down? We have no confidence in Joe Biden to fix the issue. We've got, November until the election. And so why are people spending money like there's no tomorrow? Really interesting conversation over the weekend regarding just that. And I'm going to talk about that straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 and WTN. Also, we're covering for you this morning the president of Iran killed in a helicopter crash. And I'm relatively certain there's some other heinous dictator that's ready to take over Iran at any point. But here's the crazy thing. They're actually blaming America for this helicopter crash that killed the president of Iran and a whole bunch of other folks within their government. They're now blaming America for this. I'm going to tell you how they justify that as well. Coming up after the news at 6:35 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 6:22 And I want to tell you about my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling and how they're trying to save you money with a whole bunch of May specials. Now, remember, they are your Rude Pro partner. And they also know at Busy Bee that times are tough and they don't want the cost of things to interfere with your comfort this summer. So they're offering you some great financing right now, up to 12 months, no interest, no payment with approved credit. Also, some great new deals on HVAC units from Beehive for my friends from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're offering you free air duct cleaning, fogging, and UV light home treatment with the purchase of select new units. They've got plumbing specials, $500 off select tankless water heaters, and $500 off upright S&C water heaters as well. By the way, if you need some repair work done, maybe on your AC unit, they're going to waive the $89 dispatch fee on any repair or even a new installation. Now, being a Beehive member is important because you save money over the long run by maintaining your system along the way. That phone number is 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, online, busybehvac.com. 624, Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
I got some breaking news coming out of the UN where arrest warrants will be sought for Benjamin Netanyahu and the Hamas leader. And here in Nashville, a DoorDash dad leaves his toddler in the car and the car running. And wait till you hear what happened next at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com. 629, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Friends, if you're running a fast-growing business in Nashville, listen up. NetSuite's Business Grows Here event is coming to Nashville on Tuesday, June 25th. This is an event you don't want to miss. Now, why Nashville? Because NetSuite knows Nashville is a hub for entrepreneurs with forward-thinking founders, a top talent pool, and pro-business leadership. Apply to attend the business event of the year, Business Grows Here, taking place at the Conrad Hotel on Tuesday, June 25th. netsuite.com/Nashville. You'll learn how Tennessee is paving the way for new business growth and capital. See how technology fueled by AI is shaping the way we grow and run our businesses. And you'll be inspired by leaders who have built and led billion-dollar businesses like Jamie Siminoff, founder of Ring Video Doorbell, and Burke Nihill, CEO of the Tennessee Titans. NetSuite by Oracle Business Grows Here is free to attend if you qualify. Apply right now to find out because seats are going quickly. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, June 25th. Apply right now. netsuite.com/Nashville. netsuite.com/Nashville.
6:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Going to be talking about the return of summer-like temperatures before changes by the end of the week during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, the search is on for a man who stole a car with a toddler inside. But first, breaking news on the war in Gaza. The United Nations International Criminal Court chief prosecutor just said he's seeking arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders. Now back to Nashville. That toddler left in the running car by his DoorDash dad, getting stolen while dad goes to grab the order at Whole Foods downtown. Channel 4's Jordan James says the thief jumped inside the running car and sped away.
Officers eventually located both the child and the Jeep in South Nashville near the intersection of Trimble and Lewis Street, which is just over 2 miles away from the store. Meanwhile, the suspect was nowhere near in sight, sparking the search, which continues this morning. And I can tell you, we're still working to find out that parent is facing any charges for leaving their vehicle running, which Metro Police has said increases your chances of becoming a victim in a crime.
Meanwhile, anyone recognizing the suspect in the images police posted online asked to call police. Iran's president, several other top Iranian officials are dead in a helicopter crash. Here's Tom Rivers.
An Iranian reporter on location describing the devastation in the debris field. The helicopter came down in a mountainous region of the country's northwest amid heavy fog. In addition to the loss of the country's president, Iran's foreign minister, the regional governor, other officials and bodyguards also perished. There were no survivors. First Vice President Mohammed Mokbar takes over as acting president.
Back here at home, Michael Cohen, the prosecution's star witness in former President Trump's hush money trial, expected back on the witness stand for more cross-examination today. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
6:32, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Big news from my friends at Window Nation. Right now, they're in the middle of their semi-annual sale going on right now through May 31st. And yes, this is a really big deal. For a limited time only, Window Nation is celebrating by giving you 50% off all windows, along with 0% interest for 5 years, plus an additional bonus savings offer when you schedule an appointment now from my friends at Window Nation. So, if your old windows leak water, have condensation, moldy or rotten, get hot to the touch, or maybe you're just tired of paying high utility bills for heating and air conditioning, that is a really big deal. Now, listen to this again because you can save a ton of money with Window Nation's semi-annual sale. You call them, you mention my name, this month only, get 50% off all windows plus 0% interest for 5 years and a bonus savings offer when you schedule your appointment today. So call them today for your free, no obligation, in-home consultation. It's pretty fast, too. 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. WindowNation.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
It hasn't happened since 1803. And it won't happen again for 200 years. The double brew is emerging. There could be trillions, and they're coming your way. So what can you do in a time like this? Sit back and enjoy a cup of cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Tastes great and totally free of noisy insects. It makes a great gift for friends and family. A great way to commemorate this once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Available for a limited time only at rohoelephant.com.
.637 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Monday, May 20th. Welcome on in. Johnny B. Ken Weaver here as well. The Members Nutrition Super Text line is open. 615-737-9986. 9487 says this. Does this sound right? Ken Weaver, Johnny B., does this sound right? We're talking about the economy a moment ago.
Yeah, let's hear it, Brother Dan.
Guy says, I just spent $35 for 12 tacos last night in Portland, Tennessee at Taco Bell. $35 for 12 tacos? That can't be right.
That's $3 a piece. Wait,
maybe it is.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. I know
that's a little under $3 a piece.
When I go to McDonald's, I'm shocked.
But I do
how much I'm paying.
Yeah, I do know this. I mean, I remember a time when you could get a taco for about $1.50.
Yeah, I remember when you could get tacos real cheap, and now they're just you can't. I mean, fast food is no longer cheap.
Nothing is cheap anymore.
No, sir.
And I don't even know really if it's fast anymore.
Well, see, and it's like this report this morning that ABC is pushing. You know that grocery prices ticked down. Yes, they did tick down. Some items more so than others. But I equate it to like one day it's 99 degrees, then the next day it's 98 degrees.
Well, you equate it with that, Ken, because that is absolute truth. I mean, they're totally discounting the fact that, and I haven't seen what it is today, but they're discounting what it was when Trump took over, when Biden took over. Trump leaves, Biden comes in office. Inflation, we've talked about it 1,000 times. Inflation goes up because of all of that stimulus that he put into the economy when it wasn't necessary. And now everything is really expensive, directly related to what Joe Biden has done. The inflation is directly related to the moves that he made as president. And so, I mean, it's all fine if something went down, you know, a penny or two or whatever. But I mean, the bottom line is we are still paying a lot more money because of Joe Biden. I love this meme, by the way. 16 habits that will make you poor. And then we'll get into an interesting discussion that I saw over the weekend on television. But what are the 16 habits that will make you poor? Well, first of all, there's a heck of a lot more than 16, but these are the ones on the meme. Smoking, true.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Alcoholism. Alcohol is really expensive.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I used to drink a lot. Few years ago, and then I realized how much money I was spending on alcohol, and I was like, nope, not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Overpriced coffee, understood.
Yep.
Eating out daily.
Oh, yes, sir.
Bottled water.
Yes, sir. Bottled water, yes.
They say video game points.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that even means, video game points.
Yes, that'll do it.
Gambling, buying branded clothes.
Oh, yeah.
needing, and they've got the air quotes. I'm wondering how many of these things you folks do. Needing the new iPhone. I have had the same piece of crap iPhone for like years.
I think I'm going on 3 years with mine.
Well, it's like when I was going through some marriage counseling with another marriage, and the wife at that time kept saying he's not meeting my needs. No, it was more like he's not meeting my wants. That's the way I looked at it.
Oddly enough, Johnny, marriage counseling also habits that'll make you poor.
Yes.
I'm totally kidding. That's not on there. Let's see here. Forgetting to cancel free trials, and they've got the Netflix logo. Not paying your credit card bill in full. Well, that's great if you can.
Yeah.
Unnecessary taxi rides. They say lottery tickets. Forgetting to look for discounts. Impulse buying. And voting for Democrats.
That last one, definitely.
I mean, there you go. I mean, that has certainly been proven. And so I was talking about shrinkflation and inflation and all of these other things. Well, in the news is that Americans, despite a crappy economy and despite the fact that things are still really expensive, Americans are still going out and spending. And so you've got economists and sociologists that are trying to figure this out. Why is it people are going out? Well, for example, the guy, great example, the guy from the Members Nutrition Super Text line who went out and he paid $35 for 12 tacos at Taco Bell. Why are the American people still going out and spending with everything so expensive? Now, I've got my own thoughts, but this is a woman by the name of Joanna Shu, and it makes sense what she's saying, where she's basically saying, you know what? People have given up. They know that they can't afford that car. They know that they can't afford that house that they want. They know that for them, under the Biden administration, the American dream is dead. So why not go out and spend, $35 on 12 tacos? Because you're not going to be able to afford a home. So why not go ahead and spend?
We have to look to the data. And what we are seeing is a combination of negative attitudes and positive spending. And this positive spending is not a reflection of some sort of internalized secret sense of confidence that consumers have. And instead, my interpretation is that consumers see that a lot of aspirational goals that we talk about as part of the American dream, home ownership, paying for college for your kids, having a comfortable retirement. With high prices and high interest rates right now, those aspirational goals just feel increasingly out of reach.
Yeah. I mean, look, people feel defeated. That's why they have a bad attitude. They can't really do what they want to do, which is why bother? I was actually talking to somebody about just this the other day. You're trying to save up for a house, but you realize that even the crappiest of houses is out of your price range because of various things, various factors, including number one is interest rates. And so people are feeling like these things are so far out of reach. The American dream is so far out of reach. Why bother to try? People are working, sometimes several jobs. You've got your main job, you've got the side hustle. So the labor market is good, but the pay also isn't keeping up with inflation.
And as a result, I think consumers are not really, they've kind of given up on saving for those things. And with strong labor markets, that enables them to spend now. And I think that's what we're seeing in the consumption patterns.
Yeah, they're like, screw it, I'll just spend all my money. Doesn't matter because I'm not going to be able to buy a home. Doesn't matter, I'm not going to be able to retire. So might as well just spend it. That's where people's minds are. Now, I've spoken to a few people who I've talked about this with because I really did think it was interesting as to why people are continuing to spend even though prices are really high, inflation is really high, interest rates are really high, and they're feeling by and large they agree with this economist. And so to them, the American dream is dead. I mean, you see where interest rates right now to buy homes are like, what, up towards 7%? We also don't have enough homes. You got really high interest rates. You have a lack of supply. 75% of Americans say that right now is a bad time to buy a house. And so that's what we mean when we say the American dream is dead. A lot of people say that the American dream is dead. And so part of with Joe Biden is that he is perpetually lying and lying about the economy. Donald Trump actually had a thing or two to say about that during his speech in Minnesota. I've got that audio coming up next. It is 6:45. Time to check the roads on WTN. Thank you, Jack. Partly sunny today, a high of 87. Right now, 63 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN, talking about the American dream. And is the American dream dead? And this report on CNBC where this woman was like, yeah, consumer confidence is really down. People have zero faith. And we all know this. People have zero faith in President Biden or the economy. They know that they'll never be able to afford a house, so why don't we just, go ahead and spend on our current needs and not worry about ever trying to buy a house because it is so far out of reach. Remember when Joe Biden the other day, he said this twice, and I'm assuming that this is going to be his talking point moving forward. Well, interest rates were 9% when I took office. What an absolute liar. You have to be the ultra left of the leftists to agree with that. Because if you've got any modicum of awareness of the economy, you know that when Donald Trump left office, inflation was at 1.4, and over the 4 years that he was in office, his average inflation was 1.9%. Biden's is at 5.5. And so for Donald Trump, he talked about, when he was in Minnesota, he talked about buying all of his lying.
He's all about disinformation. Pilots come in, he said, I used to fly a plane. Truckers come in, I used to drive a truck. People come in from Minnesota, I used to live in Minnesota. Right? He is so full of shit, this guy. Terrible.
I mean, you hear the applause when the former president says
he is so full of shit, this guy. Terrible.
People understand, and here's the thing: you're going to get a lot of pearl clutching. Although, in fairness, I haven't seen a lot of pearl clutching this morning, but people will probably be like, "Oh my God, Donald Trump said the SH word." I'm sorry. Tell me where the former president, is wrong in this statement.
He is so full of shit, this guy. Terrible.
He's not wrong. I mean, that entire soundbite, we've joked about this before on our show, where it's like in New York Times, Washington Post, everyone has talked about it, where the president will say, oh, yeah, he inserts himself into whatever crowd he's talking to.
Yeah.
He's talking to firefighters. He'll talk about how, we almost lost a firefighter that day when his house in Delaware caught on fire.
Yeah.
Local reporters are like, that was like a little kitchen fire that was not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the fire department confirmed that.
Fire department confirmed it. So that is President Biden. And yes, Donald Trump is right when he talks about how any number of issues, Joe Biden is full of crap. And that was most certainly evident, very evident when he was speaking. Joe Biden was speaking at Morehouse College. I've got some of those audio bites coming up here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's probably going to be about 7:35 because coming up at 7:06. Now, I told you all about this Harrison Butker. Remember Harrison Butker? He's the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he had that incredible speech. And I played you a whole bunch of audio bites last week where he was talking about the virtues of motherhood, the virtues of fatherhood. He talked about how our culture is decaying, and it clearly is decaying. And he got absolutely attacked for basically talking about conservative values. Well, there's a big update to the Harrison Butker story. That is coming up here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Iranian president is dead, confirmed dead now in a helicopter crash. The Iranian president, Ibrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, several other officials were found dead. They say Monday, hours after their helicopter crashed in a foggy, mountainous region of Iran's northwest, according to Iranian state media. Now, really, I think part of the storyline here, the Ayatollah there runs things. You've also got the parliament. But listen, during Raisi's team in office, he helped Hamas in their terror attack against Israel. He launched missile attacks against Israel. Iran continues to develop a nuclear weapons program. They continue to supply Russia with bomb-carrying drones. You still have massive divide in Iran over women's rights and its economy. And part of his deal is that he was a supporter of Hamas. He was also, by the way, part of Iran's judiciary way back in 1988. You know what happened in 1988? They executed thousands of prisoners. So this guy, I'm sure that there's somebody equally as heinous to replace him. I think right now Ken was reporting that the vice president there in Iran has been appointed by the Ayatollah to be the new president. For now, they're going to have apparently some sort of an election. I don't know.
Some sort of an election. Yes, sir.
Here's the funny thing, though. They're blaming America for the crash and this guy's death. You know what this is what they're saying. This helicopter was a Bell helicopter purchased in the early 2000s. Now, Iran is facing a parts shortage, they say, because of Western sanctions. So now there's all these people in Iran that are blaming America for the crash, and they're blaming America for the death of their president.
Boy, that hurts.
Boy, doesn't it? He'll be missed. The reality is they can get these parts from Russia. They can get these parts from China. They can get these parts from any country that they do business with. By the way, the Associated Press also reporting that they often fly without safety checks there in Iran. So, you know, again, too bad, so sad. Again, they'll find some other terrorist-supporting, politician there in Iran to take over for this guy. But, to me, will things change in Iran? Probably not. There are some people that are concerned that this will leave a power vacuum in Iran. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It is 6:53 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. I am in the middle of a great backyard makeover, and I really do now know the value of updating and upgrading your backyard. And Moon Valley Nurseries, they can help you if you've been thinking about doing the same thing. Now, think about what you would want in your perfect backyard. Then what I want you to do is check out Moon Valley Nurseries at their website. It's moonvalleynurseries.com/get growing. Now, you can actually add a ton of livable space to your home when you do this, when you work through Moon Valley Nurseries, not to mention increase the value of your home. Now, if you're not quite sure what you need, but you know that you need something, get a free consultation from Moon Valley Nurseries. Again, online, moonvalleynurseries.com/get growing. They can also help you prepare for any backyard event, big or small. They can help you by creating the perfect setting for anything. Tell them Dan Mandis at WTN told you to reach out. They can put you in the right direction. moonvalleynurseries.com/get growing. moonvalleynurseries.com/get growing. It is 6:54 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
Well, the UN prosecutor now seeking arrest warrants for the war in Gaza. New developments just coming in the Julian Assange extradition case. The search is on for a man in Nashville who stole a car with a toddler inside. Dad is a DoorDash driver who left it running. Food prices taking a dip in this country. Retailers getting creative to help. We'll tell you about it at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got more summer-like temperatures on the way, but another weather maker by the end of the week. But get this, in Houston, Texas, where they had that derecho last week with hurricane force winds, more than 200,000 homes and businesses in Houston, Texas, still without power this morning. Temperatures getting up into the 90s there today. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, the search is on for a man who stole a car with a toddler inside. But first, we've got breaking news on the war in Gaza. The UN International Criminal Court chief prosecutor says he's seeking arrest warrants for Israel and Hamas leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange just found out he will be allowed to appeal his extradition to the U.S. to face spying charges. Now back to Nashville. Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after dad left the car running to grab some groceries. Channel 4's Jordan James says it happened at the Whole Food store downtown.
Metro Police say that child is doing fine. They were found inside of the vehicle about 2.5 miles away from the Whole Food store located here along Broadway. In terms of what led up to this, investigators said a parent went to the Whole Food store to pick up a DoorDash order, and as they went inside, they left their 3-year-old child inside of their running Jeep. While inside, this man allegedly got inside and drove off.
Yeah, Channel 4 says charges could be pending against the father of the child. Meanwhile, police ask that if you recognize this man, the images they put out all over social media, call them. Right now in Iran, State TV confirming President Ibrahim Raisi and 8 others killed in a helicopter crash Saturday. So who was he? Here's Inez de la Cutara.
Raisi was a hardline conservative who was president for close to 3 years and seemed poised to win re-election next year. He was strongly opposed to both Israel and the U.S. Recently, he supported the hundreds of drones and missiles launched at Israel in response to the Israeli strike on Tehran's consulate in Syria. It's still unclear what exactly caused the crash, but Iranian state media says it went down as it was crossing mountain terrain in heavy fog.
Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has appointed the first vice president as acting president until elections this summer. And back here at home, there is some encouraging news about your grocery bills.
What we're going to see is just about every major retailer getting involved, lowering prices, adding more store brands, adding higher quality store brands.
That is supermarketguru.com editor Phil Lempert, who says this comes on the heels of the Labor Department report. Prices for food at home falling by 0.1% overall in April, with prices on some items like eggs dropping by more than 7%. Market Numbers report. Market Numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Dow futures up 42, S&P up 12, NASDAQ up 58. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
With Dan Mandis.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN along with Johnny B, Ken Weaver, Dan Mandis here. Welcome on into your Monday, May 20th. Harrison Butker. Now, I forget what day it was that I played you part of his speech, but he gave that incredible commencement address at Benedictine College, and he had some great things to say. So why exactly is it that folks on the left are triggered, so triggered, that they actually doxed him, apparently, in Kansas City? Somebody from the Kansas City mayor's office, they say, actually sent out a tweet talking about where Harrison Butker lived and where you can find him. And now the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, he is on it, and they want to know who it is that doxed Harrison Butker. Now, I'm going to play you a couple of new audio bites from this speech that has triggered so many people on the left because, you know, the more that you listen to his speech, and it was rooted in, you know, Catholic conservative values. You know who really should be angry at this speech is some folks within the Catholic Church, but I'm going to leave that to the Catholics to figure out. But he had a lot of great things to say about fatherhood. Now, I want you to listen to this, and I want you to tell me why this would trigger anyone on the left. Again, remember, Harrison Butker is the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, gives this speech at Benedictine College. It's a Catholic college. It goes viral because he says a lot of really good, patriotic, conservative things.
To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture. And when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men.
Oh, I mean, you can see in the reaction from people like Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and, you know, Jenna Bush and some of these other folks out there, they are just triggered by the toxic masculinity that's all over the place. Well, you know what? Sometimes the truth hurts, folks. And look at I've been talking about this for years. Look at the incarceration rate. Many of those people in prison grew up without a father. Absent fathers were also linked to obesity, attachment issues, gang involvement, mental health issues, and poor grades, among many other things. So somebody please tell me where Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, tell me where he's wrong. He's not. And they can't argue the facts. They can't argue with him on the point that he's making, which is fathers are really important. So what do? They just attack him for his personality. They try to destroy him as a human being, try to get the Chiefs in a change.org petition, try to get the Chiefs to bounce him off the team, to cut him from the team, instead of taking him head on related to the discussion at hand. And he is right, talking about how society is way overplayed their emasculation of men. That's what they're doing. They want to emasculate men as much as they possibly can. It's all about them being obsessed with this notion of toxic masculinity. And think about it this way. Actual men are derided, mocked, criticized, and told we need far less of you and you need to sit down, and that we don't matter as men, yet we celebrate men pretending to be girls. Does that make any sense to you? Actual men are evil, but men pretending to be girls somehow need to be celebrated. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So the whole trans discussion, You work that in. We're going to celebrate men pretending to be girls, and those trans athletes are defeating actual women in sports. So the left, they're also telling actual women that they don't matter either, because they're celebrating and allowing trans men to take over women's sports. They just had a new case in Oregon where I think it was a track meet, and some guy pretending to be a girl ended up getting first place, and all the accoutrements that came with that. So, every day we see these kinds of things going on. So the haters of Harrison Butker, they won't admit that they hate men, or maybe they will admit that they hate men, but they'll celebrate men pretending to be women. And that way they're actually telling women that they don't matter either. So somebody please tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't make sense unless you're one of these loons on the left. Harrison Butker also encouraged moms to focus on the family and children.
For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
Oh, and that, of course, also triggered people on the left, because what he's advocating for is stay-at-home moms. And as he advocates for stay-at-home moms, of course, he's putting, not intentionally, but he's putting working moms on the defensive, I guess. But, he labeled this in this speech. He talked about this as an option. You just heard it. Some of you will go on to accomplish incredible things in your career. I'd be willing to bet a lot of you are looking forward to raising children and being part of a family. Somebody please tell me what the problem is with this. 7:15 on Super Talk 99.7. Time to check the roads. Partly sunny today, a high of 87, 64 now at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Talking about the reaction which continues to percolate out there to the speech by Harrison Butker, kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Very pro-family, very conservative Catholic and Catholicism. And, I watched and I listened to the whole speech, and he had some criticisms of the Catholic Church, which I'm going to let the Catholics deal with all that. But when you look at his comments on society as a whole, I mean, quite frankly, they're spot on. Yet you have people that are out there trying to destroy his career, including a whole bunch of folks in the media. But he talked about the importance of stay-at-home moms. He talked about the importance of masculinity and what is happening in our country right now with a lot of folks on the left trying to emasculate men. And then he talked about his own wife.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Just a great speech. And you had a lot of moms out there talk about how, well, they would like to stay home, but they can't financially. Again, he talked about it being a choice, and, you can stretch that into, expand that into the conversation about, frankly, Bidenomics, which has hampered a lot of moms and dads from being able to stay home with their kids. But you had the trans community going to hysterics. You had Democrats screaming about how he should keep his thoughts on God to himself. Overall, just very negative reaction by folks on the left, including, by the way, somebody who apparently, again, doxed him. And in case you don't know what that means putting out his private information online so that he can be harassed, a tactic often used by the left. They say, and this is from Daily Mail, the post, since deleted, noted the Kansas City suburb where Butker lives, which has a population of more than 100,000. The city's account later posted a message saying, "We apologize for the previous post. It was shared in error." That's not a mistake. You dox somebody, it's not a mistake. In a press release, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey said the post appeared to be in retaliation for these controversial remarks Butker made during a commencement speech at Benedictine College earlier this week. Now, I did read where they may have doxed the wrong person, believe it or not. I guess there's some other person named Harrison Butker, and that's the other Harrison Butker is the guy that apparently got doxed. I can't figure it out because there's all of these conflicting articles, contradictory articles. I don't know what happened. But what I do know is that the reaction to Butker and all of the nastiness coming his way has been genuine. Now, if they dox the wrong person, whatever. But all I'm telling you is that it is ridiculous to go after this guy when there's so many other bad actors in the NFL. I mean, you've got spousal abuse, you've got gang culture, out-of-wedlock kids. I mean, you could go on and on. I think Chris brought up, and Mac perhaps brought up Rashee Rice, his teammate who was driving 120 miles down the highway, putting other people's lives in jeopardy. But just to tell you that there is hope in America. Even today on this Monday morning, May 20th, is that his jersey is among the top sellers as far as jerseys go this Monday morning in the NFL. So again, good for him. And hopefully Harrison Butker, hopefully this all dies down. But you know what? He is unwavering in his bravery as a conservative and as someone who appreciates conservative values. And I think that for this guy, I think he is a nice contradiction to all of the trash, quite frankly, that we do see in the NFL. It is 7:22 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 at WTN. Listen, if I know anything about fixing my house over the years, and I've learned a lot after fixing up my house over the years, is that good companies are really hard to find, which is why I am so glad that I could tell you about one of the great ones. Now, let me introduce you to Copper Creek Electric. Now, in my time fixing up my house and renovating my house, I had a hard time just getting companies to call me back. Not the case with Copper Creek Electric. They've been electrifying Middle Tennessee since 2008, and whatever you need done, they can do it, big or small. From residential remodels to new construction, Copper Electrical, they will do any job you need from your home to your business. These folks at Copper Creek Electric, they do it all, and they do it right the first time, and they're going to tailor the job to your needs. Now listen. For real, the electrical in your home or your business is serious, and it does need to be safe and up to code. Copper Creek Electric can do that, and they're easy to work with, licensed and insured. Their technicians have to pass drug tests and background checks. In other words, you can trust Copper Creek Electric with your wallet and your home and business. So check them out today. Their phone number, please tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out if you need some electrical done. 615-476-8697. 615-476-8697. You can find them online at coppercreekelectric.biz. That's coppercreekelectric.biz. 723 on Nashville's Morning News. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news at 7:30?
Well, the UN, International Crimes Prosecutor, seeking arrest warrants for the war in Gaza. New developments in the Julian Assange extradition case. The search is on for a man who stole a car with a toddler inside in Nashville. Dad is a DoorDash driver who left it running. These stories and more at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It hasn't happened since 1803. And it won't happen again for 200 years. The double brew is emerging. There could be trillions, and they're coming your way. So what can you do in a time like this? Sit back and enjoy a cup of cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Tastes great and totally free of noisy insects. It makes a great gift for friends and family. A great way to commemorate this once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Available for a limited time only at rojoelephant.com.
7:29, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, coming up,
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
we've got a Jasmine Crockett update. Wait till you hear what she has to say about MAGA. That is all straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Friends, if the last couple of weeks have taught us anything, it's that Mother Nature can strike anytime, anywhere. So if you can hear my voice, you are in the path of tornadoes and power outages, which is why you need a backup home standby generator from my friends at Cove Generators. Now, right now, listeners to my show get a free 10-year warranty. It's also upgraded, by the way, a free upgraded 10-year warranty and $500 off when you mention my name, Dan Mandis. Call Generator Dave, and he's going to set you right up. Now, Cove Generators are your premier Generac home standby generator dealer in the state of Tennessee. If you've got any questions, again, call Generator Dave. He's going to answer whatever you ask. Now, he and the entire team at Cove Generators, they're going to answer your questions before and after when you buy that backup generator. Now, remember that great deal. You mentioned my name. You're going to get that free, upgraded 10-year warranty and $500 off when you mention my name. So that is a deal you're not going to find anywhere else but at Cove Generators. So call them today if you're even thinking about getting a new generator. You owe it to yourself and your family to call Cove Generators. 931-559-3311, 931-559-3311, covegenerators.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
$7:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Heat turns up this week. Change by the end of the week, which could linger into the holiday weekend. Yeah, we're talking about showers and storms, but get this in Houston, Texas. After storms last week, still more than 200,000 homes and businesses without electricity. And today, temperatures in southeast Texas heading into the 90s. Full forecast and traffic for Middle Tennessee here in 5 minutes. And in Nashville, the search is on for a man who stole a car with a toddler inside. But first, the breaking news on the war on Gaza, in Gaza, I should say. The UN International Criminal Court chief prosecutor says he's seeking arrest warrants for Israel and Hamas leaders. That includes Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange found out this morning he will be allowed to appeal his extradition to the U.S. to face spying charges. And Iran's president was killed in a helicopter crash on Saturday. Now here in Nashville, Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after his DoorDash dad left it running to grab an order at the Whole Foods downtown. Channel 4's Jordan James says the thief jumped in the car and sped away.
Officers eventually located both the child and the Jeep in South Nashville near the intersection of Trimble and Lewis Street, which is just over 2 miles away from the store. Meanwhile, the suspect was nowhere near in sight, sparking the search, which continues this morning. And I can tell you, we're still working to find out that parent is facing any charges for leaving their vehicle running, which Metro Police has said increases your chances of becoming a victim in a crime.
Later this morning in New York, Michael Cohen, the prosecution's star witness in former President Trump's hush money trial, expected back on the witness stand for more cross-examination. On the campaign trail over the weekend, Trump got a big endorsement.
The NRA has stood with me from the very beginning, and with your vote, I will stand strong for your rights and liberties. And 4 more years in the White House, we're going to do things like nobody can believe.
And President Biden in Detroit trying to improve his polling numbers among black voters.
My name's Joe Biden, and I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. 7:33 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. The Kellum Stem Cell Institute. Listen, in the middle of spring, heading into summer, if you have lost that spring in your step because of sports injuries, the Kellum Stem Cell Institute can help you with those nagging injuries and so much more. Now, what ails you? Well, so many people deal with sports injuries like concussions, Maybe you've got congestive heart failure, asthma, arthritis, maybe autism or Lou Gehrig's disease. The Kellum Stem Cell Institute, they can help you with all of those things and a whole lot more. Dr. Ethan Kellum specializes in the harvesting of and then redeploying of your own stem cells to attack inflammation in your body to help it heal. This is your body providing your cells and your solutions. And Dr. Ethan Kellum can help you today, and they do now accept care credit. So call them, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. If you've given up and you don't think that a doctor can help you, Dr. Ethan Kellum can. 615-850-4415, 615-850-4415, Kellum, KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Your body, your cells, your solution. Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com. 7:39. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. It's Nashville's Morning News for your Monday, May 20th, along with Ken Weaver, Johnny B as well. Ken.
Yeah, Brother Dan Mandis.
So thanks a lot for triggering me with that ridiculously stupid yet so entertaining Joe Biden screaming that he's been a member of the NAACP for a long time.
Card-carrying member.
Can you play that again?
Yeah, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
My name's Joe Biden, and I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP.
Yeah.
So was that at...
that was in Detroit.
That was in Detroit?
Yeah, that was in front of what the White House claims was 5,000 people.
Okay, maybe it was. Maybe the unions packed a whole bunch of folks in there. I don't know.
Might have been.
I don't believe that he got 5,000 people there. And if he did, then their reaction to his, seemingly lifetime membership to the NAACP was rather muted.
Well, only about 30 reacted.
And they were paid.
And they were, that's what I'm saying. I'd be willing to bet the union paid like quadruple overtime to have, Joe Biden, talk to them. So anyway, it is rather ridiculous. Thank you, Ken. It is rather ridiculous. By the way, Ken, if you could send that to me, that'd be great.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll find
I
some
knew you'd
use.
like that, Brother Dan. I had you in mind whenever I prepared that story.
Well, I like how you had it like right there at the end of the newscast when I'm coming into a commercial.
Yeah.
Because you knew that my headphones would be on and I'd be listening.
Exactly.
So well done, Ken Weaver. Anyway, thank you very much. We have a Jasmine Crockett update.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Now, there's a few things going on with Jasmine Crockett. Number one is, of course, we all know, was that on Friday that we had all that audio and everything on Friday? That was on Friday. The fight between Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jasmine Crockett, and AOC, a very befuddled James Comer. And it's just very funny. And I'm not going to go backwards that much because everybody who's listening right now knows the story. So now Jasmine Crockett, there's a few things out there. She's all over the Sunday shows. This one, though, in particular, she goes after MAGA. This was on MSNBC. That's right. The friendliness of MSNBC. And Jasmine Crockett talking about how she is smarter than all Trump supporters.
They encourage me to be who I am because I really am doing and experiencing things that so many other Black women are experiencing. But unfortunately, their stories aren't highlighted. And I also took this as an opportunity to, again, flex on MAGA and let them know that I will always be smarter than you. You can call me a DEI hire all you want to and lodge all the other insults that they continuously lodge against me. But she is no match for me when it comes to intellect. She just decided, oh, you know what? I've got privilege, so I'm just going to say whatever I want to say and then lean back. And that's
I want to make sure you understand. So the lawyer, is Marjorie Taylor Greene a lawyer? I don't think so. So the lawyer is saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene is privileged. I want to make sure everybody understands that because you've got Jasmine Crockett. Apparently she is an attorney. Hard to believe, but she's an attorney and Marjorie Taylor Greene is not. So the one with the law degree, which, by the way, is not necessarily something that I think is all that impressive, but whatever. A lot of lawyers that I've known in my day that are pieces of crap. But anyway, moving on from there. She's trying to say that she is, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the one that's privileged.
Other insults that they continuously lodge against me, but she is no match for me when it comes to intellect. Wow. She just decided, oh, you know what? I've got privilege, so I'm just going to say whatever I want to say and then lean back. And that's exactly what she did. And she knew that she would face no consequences, or at least she thought she would face no consequences. I refuse to be somebody's doormat, and anybody suggesting that I should, I need you to look in the mirror and maybe check yourself. They encourage.
All right, so check yourself. That's what that's what we all have to do. You know, it is funny because in listening to her, number one, Marjorie Taylor Greene totally triggered Jasmine Crockett.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
So I don't know who's zooming who here, but it seems to me like Jasmine Crockett is saying, "Oh, I'm the, I'm smarter than MAGA. I'm smarter than Trump supporters," and that's on the one hand, okay, that's all fine if that's what you say, but you were totally triggered. I would say this to Jasmine Crockett: you were totally triggered into making yourself and AOC look like absolute fools in front of America. Now, there's some people that are saying, and listen, I realize that Marjorie Taylor Greene, I said this on Friday, I realized that Marjorie Taylor Greene started it with the whole long eyelashes comment. I understand that. I think it was both my mother and my father, and anyone with good parents will tell you, will probably talk about this lesson learned. So if you're a good parent, you've taught this to your kids, and if you're, a grown-up or a young adult, you probably remember, if you had good parents, you probably remember your parents telling you this. You can't always control what other people say, and you can't always control what other people do. But you need to be able to control your reactions.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
And your reaction, I would say to Jasmine Crockett, not acceptable. And there's even people on the left.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Are saying that. And by the way, that little comment there, what she's saying about Marjorie Taylor Greene, when you look at the overall scope of the reaction, the hysterical reaction with Jasmine Crockett and also AOC, it's clear that Marjorie Taylor Greene she accomplished exactly what she wanted to accomplish, which was trigger these two. And I will just tell you that I'm not impressed at all with the supposed intellect of Jasmine Crockett. And don't get me started on AOC. So for me, I think it would be great to see these two debate, whether it's Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett or Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC. By the way, you know that Jasmine Crockett has some Tennessee, I'm not going to call them roots. I don't know where she actually grew up, but she spent some time in Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you that story coming up next because she's making some accusations that may or may not be true. Details straight ahead. 7:46, time to check the roads. Partly sunny today, a high of 87, right now 67 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Headline from our friends at the Tennessee Star. Representative Jasmine Crockett claimed to be a victim of hate crimes in Tennessee back in 2020, but details remain scarce years later. So it would appear that Jasmine Crockett made some claims while going to school at Rhodes College in Memphis, but nobody can find any actual proof or evidence that she was a victim of a hate crime. Crockett told Darling Society in September 2020 that she was the victim of a series of hate crimes at Rhodes College that required the university to enlist the help of the Cochran firm, a Memphis-based law firm made famous by its founder, Johnny Cochran. He was secured, of course, as we all know, a not guilty verdict in the O.J. Simpson murder trial, often dubbed the trial of the century. Here's what she said. In my junior year, I became the victim of a series of hate crimes, myself along with a handful of other black students, claimed Crockett in 2020. She continued, my school didn't know what to do, and they brought in the Cochran firm, and the lawyer that helped me became my instant hero, but apparently a girl, Shiro. In July 2021, Crockett provided additional details of the alleged hate crimes to ABC 7, with the outlet reporting is that she recalled needing an advocate when someone left racist hate mail in her campus mailbox and when her black friends had their cars keyed on campus. That outlet did not reference the Cochran firm, and Crockett told ABC7 the incident led her to be that shero who would assist people at a very confusing and difficult time. The Tennessee Star reports that Crockett appears to have attended Rhodes College from approximately 1999 to 2003. She alleges the hate crimes inspired her to become an attorney. So now the Tennessee Star is trying to figure out, okay, what are the details here? They can't find any police reports. And the digital press inquiry by the Star to the Cochran firm similarly did not receive an immediate response. The Star sought confirmation. The firm represented the college, and information about the female attorney identified by Crockett as a shero, in addition to details about the alleged claims. In other words, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Maybe it's a bunch of BS. Maybe it actually happened. Hate crimes are obviously incredibly bad thing. You know, it's also really bad is people who make up hate crimes. It is 7:51 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 at WTN. I want to tell you about my friends at DT McCall's. Of course, springtime in Middle Tennessee and coming soon, summer. If you need some outdoor furniture, maybe some lawn equipment, DT McCall's is the place you want to go. Now, whatever you need to get ready for hotter weather, you want to check out one of their 5 locations. Lawn mowers, patio furniture, and a whole lot more. Stop on by one of DT McCall's 5 locations or find them online. How about kitchen appliances, washer and dryer sets, or any type of home furnishings? DT McCall's has great value and customer service as well. They've been in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they've lasted so long because of that customer service and that great quality of products as well. This is a place I've gone to many times, DT McCall's. I bought my new stove at DT McCall's. I think it was last year. Great customer service, fair pricing as well. So many places to save, so many ways to save. All you need to do is go to one place, my place, DT McCall's, Carthage, Franklin, Cookeville, Lafayette, Lebanon, always online at dtmccalls.com. 7:52 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news at 8?
Breaking news coming out of the UN's criminal court. The chief prosecutor seeking arrest warrants for the war in Gaza. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks founder, breaking news. And a Nashville DoorDash driver learns the hard way not to leave the car running, especially when your toddler son is inside. All this and more at 8 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
I've had my car keyed, I can't tell you how many times. I never considered it a hate crime.
Really? You've had it keyed before?
Oh, talking about Jasmine Crockett, and she says that a bunch of students there at Rhodes College in Memphis had their cars keyed, and they're calling it a hate crime.
Yeah.
I've had you know what? It was a hate crime. My car was keyed by an ex-girlfriend.
There you go.
She hated me, man.
That's a hate crime.
I'm just telling you. Also a crime of passion, but not the good kind.
I think mine have never been keyed because people took pity on its owner.
Yeah. You too, eh?
Oh, trust me. This was not one of my finer vehicles. I'll just say that. But yeah, people are like on the Members Nutrition Super Text line, aren't all crimes hate crimes? 2433, Jasmine playing her Jussie Smollett card.
Oh, juicy.
2141, Jasmine Crockett is trying to get a sympathy vote. People have said to me, actually, that they didn't think that her pterodactyl wing-like eyelashes were all that bad on her.
Well, Ken and I actually looked it up Friday, and we thought she looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think she's a pretty woman.
She is a pretty woman.
Oh, she's a very pretty woman. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Jasmine Crockett is, she's attractive.
Yeah, she is.
Then she starts talking. Listen, she would say the same thing about me except the whole attractive part.
And she'd probably key your car.
And she'd probably... she'd bring explosives to my gas tank is what she would do.
She'd just blink a little harder.
Jasmine, my car is on fire. Blink. That's
Fan
wrong.
in the flames.
Oh, it's only, that's all it's doing.
The flames of love.
Yeah, baby.
Moving right along, 7:57. Right,
It's a heat wave.
We're going to play some of that Joe Biden audio from Morehouse College. It is so absolutely ridiculous. That and a whole lot more straight ahead. WTN.
Eight o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Summer-like temperatures today. Showers, maybe storms by the end of the week. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. The UN International Criminal Court chief prosecutor says he's seeking arrest warrants for Israel and Hamas leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Iran's president and foreign minister and other high-ranking officials are dead after a helicopter crash. And new developments in WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange's spy case.
Two judges have ruled that Julian Assange can appeal against an order that he be extradited to the U.S. on espionage charges. The bottom line, it's been determined that the WikiLeaks founder has grounds to challenge the UK government's extradition order. The Australian has spent the last 5 years in a British high-security prison after taking refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years.
Assange is accused of conspiring with Chelsea Manning, who, as an intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army, leaked to Assange hundreds of thousands of classified documents, including about 250,000 U.S. Department of State cables. WikiLeaks began publishing those documents in 2010. Here in Nashville, Metro Police on the hunt for a man accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old inside after Dad, a DoorDash driver, left the car running to grab the order. Channel 4's Jordan James says it happened at the Whole Foods store downtown.
Metro Police say that child is doing fine. They were found inside of the vehicle about 2.5 miles away from the Whole Foods store located here along Broadway. In terms of what led up to this, investigators said a parent went to the Whole Foods store to pick up a DoorDash order, and as they went inside, they left their 3-year-old child inside of their running Jeep. While inside, this man allegedly got inside and drove off.
Yeah, Channel 4 says charges could be pending against the dad. Meanwhile, police asking you to look at the images of the suspect and help them identify him. Money news, encouraging news, I should say, about your grocery bills.
What we're going to see is just about every major retailer getting involved, lowering prices, adding more store brands, adding higher quality store brands.
That is supermarketguru.com editor Phil Lempert, who says the Labor Department report prices for food at home falling by 0.5% overall in April. Prices on some items like eggs dropping by more than 7%. It is official. Red Lobster has filed for bankruptcy, but Jim Ryan says that doesn't necessarily mean the end of the seafood chain.
Red Lobster has been given a $100 million financing commitment from its current lenders, enough to keep its remaining 600 locations open and its employees and vendors paid. Far from announcing the company's death knell, CEO Jonathan Tybus says in a statement the Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing will allow Red Lobster to focus on growth.
Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Right now, Dow futures are up 30, S&P up 18, or rather 8, and NASDAQ futures up 31. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It hasn't happened since 1803. And it won't happen again for 200 years. The double brew is emerging. There could be trillions, and they're coming your way. So what can you do in a time like this? Sit back and enjoy a cup of cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Tastes great and totally free of noisy insects. It makes a great gift for friends and family. A great way to commemorate this once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Cicada-free, freshly brewed coffee. Available for a limited time only at rohoelephant.com.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Nashville's morning news with Dan Mans.
And so, my fellow Americans,
We talk news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
8:06, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on into Nashville's morning news, and along with Johnny B, Ken Weaver, I'm Dan. Monday, May 20th. Hey, Ken, you got that audio bite again of Joe Biden talking about how he's been a member of the NAACP?
Yeah, stand by, Brother Dan.
All right. Very good. Because I'm curious. I'm curious if another one of his famous quotes was repeated during his during his speech at Morehouse College. So here's what I'm wondering. Do you have yours yet?
I've got it, Brother Dan.
Go ahead and you play yours. This is Joe Biden pandering to the college students at Morehouse College.
No, this is Biden to NAACP.
Detroit.
Yeah, he's in Detroit, and the White House says there was 500,000 people in the audience.
My name's Joe Biden, and I'm a lifetime member of the NAACP. All right.
You know, it's like he comes out and he's like a clown.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Comes out yelling.
But then here's the thing. So then he speaks at Morehouse College in Georgia. It's a historically black college university, and I'm going to play a whole bunch of audio of the things that he said. But I'm wondering if he said this.
Do you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black?
I wonder if he said that to the students at Morehouse College. Because, I mean, that is, I think, for a lot of people who are, Joe Biden supporters, can they stand by that comment? Can they maybe look at what the president said and admit that that was a big mistake? Because I don't know if I've ever even heard a Democrat defend Joe Biden when he said that. Have you ever heard a Democrat actually try and defend this?
Do you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black?
Because as much as, Republicans and conservatives, much as, like myself, we like to have fun with that comment because, frankly, it serves a couple of different purposes. Number one, it shows you the arrogance of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party that he said...
Do you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black?
And he was never held accountable for that comment. That's number one. Number two, it shows you how the black community has been taken advantage of, frankly, and taken for granted by the Democrats and Joe Biden for years. And oddly enough, when he went to Morehouse College, he did not repeat.
Do you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black?
He didn't repeat that line. But he comes out, and this is the whole point. He comes out and he tells lie after lie after lie to these graduates at Morehouse College. Now, here's the thing. I've read descriptions of the reaction of these college students at Morehouse, and they were clearly, at least to me, they were pretty clearly not impressed. As a matter of fact, the reaction was rather muted, as a matter of fact. I'm going to play some of these things, and some of these just stand on their own as just stupid comments. But he talked about, of course, white supremacy.
To show you democracy, democracy, democracy is still the way. If black men are being killed in the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy.
So he's talking about black men being killed in the streets, but then he references white supremacy.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? Because
like white mobs are still going around killing black people?
That's what it seems to me like he's saying. When in reality, what's killing by and large black men are other black men. I mean, that's not me talking. That's the FBI crime statistics.
If black men are being killed in the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy.
Yeah, because, he's got nothing left. The 90% is somewhere in the 90% range last time I checked, where black-on-black crime impacts the black community. Black men are killed by the black men. So where does white supremacy fit into it? Now, I'm not saying that white supremacy is a good thing. Clearly not. But the only reason why Joe Biden is saying the things that he's saying is because he is woefully lower in the support of the black community. And I wonder if the students at Morehouse College, they're pretty smart. They really are. And so you think they're sitting there and as I said in the 5 o'clock hour, they've got to be texting each other like, is this dude for real? Really? Anybody who is graduating with a degree in like criminology or law enforcement or whatever knows that statement is BS. Clearly what he's trying to do is he's trying to gin up the racism so that he can try to get more votes. The problem, though, is that I believe, and we've talked about how the younger generation, they're not buying what he's trying to sell.
Instead of a trail of broken promises, we're investing more money than ever in black families and black communities.
Do you know who Joe Biden, I was thinking about this over the weekend, because sadly this is what I think about over the weekend, is, Jim Clyburn, the guy from South Carolina, old black dude, and he's the kind of guy that just, everything is blue. Everything is Democrat, and Democrats can do no wrong. And he has said I've played the audio on my show. He's absolutely ridiculous, James Clyburn. And so he, to me, represents the older folks in the black community that support Joe Biden, and they will support the Democrats to their own peril. But these younger college graduates who do know better are sitting there and they're listening to this.
Instead of a trail of broken promises, we're investing more money than ever in black families and black communities.
And I'm just wondering if they're thinking about all of the problems with Joe Biden's economy that they're graduating into. These college graduates, they're graduating, they're going to try to find a job. They're going to try to make their own money. If Biden wants to invest in, black neighborhoods, whatever, okay. But these Morehouse College graduates, they want to make their own money. They've invested in themselves. They want to be able to go out and buy a home and buy a car, earn a living that enables them to keep up with Bidenflation. And so I believe that the students are smarter than that. Joe Biden will never admit that, but I believe that they are. And he continues to go on with the race baiting.
I have more African Americans in high places, including on the court, than any president in American history.
Right. Again, talking about black women. Sadly, they don't represent really well. You've got Ketanji Brown Jackson, who told the world that she couldn't tell us what a woman is because, clearly she's riddled with wokeness and DEI. Kamala Harris is incredibly unpopular, and Karine Jean-Pierre is widely considered the worst press secretary in the history of press secretaries. So it's all great and all.
I have more African Americans in high places, including on the court, than any president in American history.
That's all fine, well, and good, but the problem is that they've become national jokes. Now, I'm going to give Ketanji Brown Jackson a little bit of space on that one, but certainly Kamala Harris and Karine Jean-Pierre, both of them widely considered jokes. And the lies did continue. I've got a couple of more real quick on Super Talk 99.7, but first, got to check the roads. $8:16, Nashville's Morning News on WTN for your Monday, May 20th. As far as your weather for today, partly sunny and a high of 87. Right now, 69 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The pandering continues of President Joe Biden as he makes the rounds. And we joked about this on Friday, where the president had big plans. He's going to go give the commencement speech at Morehouse College. He was going to, visit the African-American Museum. I think it was in Detroit or wherever it was. Probably speak to some union members as well. Things that really just don't actually help the black community or, frankly, any community. Now, I was talking about earlier with the president talking about, white supremacy and how he's investing in the black communities. And I talked about the economy and the kind of economic environment that all college graduates, not just black graduates, but all graduates and all of us are living with or dealing with right now. And the president just thinks that he can come out with some pandering and platitudes and win back the black support that he has lost. And the problem is when we talk about pandering and platitudes, we're also talking about lies.
Today in Georgia, they won't allow water to be available to you while you wait in line to vote in an election. What in the hell's that all about? I'm serious. Think about it.
Now, I don't know how many people were actually in this audience, but it doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot.
No, and in fact, when you listen to his voice, it sounds like it's an empty auditorium.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny. It does. It's got that echo to it. Well, when he's talking about no water being allowed by the mean Jim Crow Republicans, right? Remember this? This was all part of that Jim Crow 2.0 thing.
Yeah.
It's political organizations who are not allowed to give water in line. So if you're running for office, your staff cannot go out and hand folks bottles of water with, your name on a pin or your face on a bottle of water. You're just not allowed to do that. That's what it is. But you see, Joe Biden is lying. And I have to pray that the college graduates at Morehouse understand that he's lying. And by the way, if you're going to go vote, bring your own water. I mean, there is that too.
Yeah. His whole speech is just what? It's like it's ancient.
Well, I fully expect him to come out and say, I was born a poor black child.
Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised he did.
Can you imagine? Well, honestly, Ken,
it may happen.
That's the vision. It's funny you mentioned that, Johnny, because when Ken played his audio bite where he comes out in Detroit and screams, I'm a blah, 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 blah member.
I'm a lifetime member of
the NAACP. I mean, good Lord, man.
This has got to be insulting to African Americans in some way.
I would think
I just think
so.
it has to be.
Well, the problem is the lies are so provable. The lies are so provable because all of these things, including the water thing, that has been fact-checked by multiple news organizations. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol with Confederate flags are called patriots by some. Not in my house. Black police officers, black veterans protecting the Capitol were called another word, as you recall.
So obviously using the N-word is never okay, unless, of course, you're part of that culture or music or whatever.
Right.
But politicizing it, the way that he's doing, you think that's good for America?
No.
Clearly, it's not good for America. And when you're demonizing an entire political party and an entire political movement by bringing that up over and over again, because that's what the testimony has been, but when you bring it up over and over again, you're trying to divide America so that you can stay in power. That's obviously what Joe Biden is trying to do. Then comes this comment, and this is another one based in race baiting.
They don't see you in the future of America, but they're wrong. To me, we make history, not erase it. We know black history is American history.
So when, I don't know, has there been any Republicans out there that have been trying to erase black history? I can't think.
I know of.
I can't think of one. But when he said,
They don't see you in the future of America.
what does that even mean? MAGA Republicans don't see you in the future of America.
They don't see you in the future of America.
What does that? Can somebody please ask? I wish I had Peter Ducey's cell phone number or something. Can you please ask the Biden administration what they mean by Republicans don't see black folks in the future of America? I don't even know what that means. Does that mean that we all want them dead? Of course not. I mean, we don't, clearly. But I'm trying to understand what Joe Biden means when he says,
They don't see you in the future of America.
All right, whatever that means, Joe.
He's just hearkening back to the 50s and 60s, man.
You said a great thing a few minutes ago, Ken, when you said that he sounds like this is ancient thinking.
Yeah, like this is still, in the midst of the civil rights movement. And I just don't think we are there anymore.
No.
I just really don't.
We're not.
No.
I live in a neighborhood right now. I live in a middle-class neighborhood that is incredibly diverse. Families everywhere, and we're all different kinds of color and nationalities.
Yep.
This is just, it's ancient.
Yes, it is. And trying to paint that, white supremacists, they are such a lone group anymore.
And somebody please tell me.
Thank God for that.
Absolutely, Johnny. And somebody please tell me what Republican or conservative is out there saying yay for white supremacists.
I don't hear anyone doing that.
It's just dumb. It is just Joe Biden is trying to relate to the lowest common denominator, and those students at Morehouse College, they should be insulted and horrified that that's what he brought to the table. When you look at the economy, when you look at illegal immigration, when you look at the rate of inflation, when you look at all of the things that they are having to deal with as they graduate and enter into this economy, that's why Joe Biden is bringing up, as you said, Ken, this very ancient way of thinking, this very ancient way of campaigning, because that's all he's got. That is all he's got. And and it doesn't sound like he had a lot of applause as those young adults were listening to the president. I haven't seen what the reaction was other than, very mild applause, almost like polite applause, as a matter of fact.
Well, it didn't even sound like there were that many people in the audience.
Yeah, there were not 5,000 people.
Not at all. Couldn't have been. Especially the ambiance of that, of the echoing.
Either that or there were 5,000 people there, but they see through the BS.
Well, and realize that there were some, just so you folks know, there are some folks that turned their backs on the president when he called for a ceasefire and a releasing of all the hostages.
Oh, that was at Morehouse.
Yeah, that was at Morehouse. So it's one of those things where the president, as far as what he's delivering to this community, it is basically designed to inspire hate and not unity. And that's the only way that he believes that he's going to win. And when he does that, then it's actually just insulting the audience he's intending to manipulate. It is, and I hope they see it like that. It is 8:24 on Nashville's Morning News on WTN. Opening up your home to showings means that strangers can open anything in your home. Now, don't worry about getting around to spring cleaning and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and skip the cleaning and organizing necessary to sell your home. You can say goodbye to the stress that comes with a traditional home sale. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and close within days. There's no showings, no open houses, and no costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate makes selling your home stress-free. With over 11,000 five-star reviews, Mark Spain Real Estate is the most trusted and experienced real estate team in America. So spring into action and sell your home with confidence. Call 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD. You can also find them online. It is markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer will be. There's no obligation. That's markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing. 8:25, Ken Weaver, what's coming up in the news?
Well, the breaking news out of the UN, where the criminal court chief prosecutor is seeking arrest warrants for the war in Gaza. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks founder, breaking news. That coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
$8:28, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Listen, friends, I've been telling you about Stoltz Co. for feels like years now, and they're incredible pole barns, and you can put these pole barns anywhere, and they can function as anything. Now, what I want you to do, if you're wondering what exactly is a pole barn and why does man just keep talking about them, it's because I love Stoltz Co. and what they do with pole barns and their amazing construction. Now, you can build pole barn for your vehicles. You can build a pole barn for your horses if you need an equestrian building. You can even build one as an event space or a home. We call them barn dominiums. The bottom line is Stoltz Co. is among the elite in pole barn construction here in Middle Tennessee. What I want you to do, check them out online or on their Instagram or Facebook accounts. Call them for an estimate. Their phone number is 615-622-5992. Stoltzco.com is STOLTZCO.com. Stoltzco.com, STOLTZCO. Stoltzco.com. Tell them Dan Man just told you to reach out. 615-622-5992.
8:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, tracking summer-like temperatures coming to the mid-state. Also, at the end of the week, some change in the weather. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now, the UN International Criminal Court chief prosecutor says he's seeking arrest warrants for Israel and Hamas leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Confirmed overnight, the crash of a helicopter in Iran has killed the country's president as well as several officials. Here's Britt Clinette.
Iran's supreme leader, he's expressed his condolences. He's appointed the first vice president to serve as the country's acting president until elections are held in the next 50 days.
Elsewhere in the UK, two judges ruling that Julian Assange can appeal against an order that he be extradited to the U.S. on espionage charges. And here in Nashville, the toddler left in the running car by his DoorDash dad. That car stolen while dad went to grab the order at Whole Foods downtown. Channel 4's Jordan James says the thief jumped in and sped away.
Officers eventually located both the child and the Jeep in South Nashville near the intersection of Trimble and Lewis Street, which is just over 2 miles away from the store. Meanwhile, the suspect was nowhere near in sight, sparking the search, which continues this morning. And I can tell you, we're still working to find out that parent is facing any charges for leaving their vehicle running, which Metro Police has said increases your chances of becoming a victim in a crime.
Yeah, anyone recognizing the suspect in the images police posted online is asked to call police. All right, let's get your market numbers report. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. We are a couple of minutes into the brand new trading day, and right now the Dow is down 21. The S&P is flat. The NASDAQ is up 25. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. 8:32 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Listen, I never really considered myself a prepper, but I do consider myself a guy who cares deeply about his country and his family, and I really enjoy talking to you folks about My Patriot Supply because what they do is incredibly important. I order emergency food from My Patriot Supply. Now, they've helped millions of Americans get ready for the worst. Now, listen, every day we see stories about America under attack. You got China, Russia, North Korea, Iran threatening our infrastructure all the time. America is vulnerable, but that doesn't mean that you have to be. Order emergency food from My Patriot Supply at preparewithmandis.com, and you're ready for anything. Now, again, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans get ready for the worst, including yours truly. Now, right now, they've got a great deal. Their 3-month emergency food kits are $200 off each. Now, that means that you can stock up and save big time at preparewithmandis.com. This emergency food does last for 25 years. There's a ton of variety, and it does actually taste good. Now, remember that web address. Remember that great deal. 3-month emergency food kits right now are $200 off each at preparewithmandis.com. You don't have to be a prepper to be prepared, folks. So protect your family with emergency food kits from My Patriot Supply. One more time, 3-month emergency food kits, $200 off each. So you can stock up today. Preparewithmandis.com. Preparewithmandis.com. 5:39, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning, Johnny B.
Morning, Dan.
Ken Weaver, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, boys. How about you?
I am doing well.
That's good.
I think it's been a fantastic show so far today.
Been a dantastic show. Yes.
Dan right.
Somebody also said the show today, this is on the F&M Bank chat line. Somebody also said it's been a dantacular show today.
Hey, how about that?
One, man. Yeah.
So I don't know if I would agree with that. And somebody also on the F&M Bank chat line is, I'm wearing my Atlanta Braves hat today with the small A.
Yeah.
Somebody said, does that mean he's a fan of AOC?
What?
I'm pretty certain that you folks know that I'm no fan of AOC.
Man, that was a real...
That's a stretch.
That was a stretch.
That's okay. Yeah. Listen, we love our listeners.
Sure.
Whether they're listening on the radio, watching on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. By the way, by popular demand, because I wasn't going to do this.
Okay.
Again.
Okay.
Uh-oh, but you're going to.
But you're going to go down that road again.
I was asked to do this, and as we all know here on Nashville's Morning News, it's all about the listeners.
We play requests.
We do play requests. John, I need some audio, please. This is Joe Biden over the weekend.
He calls the insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
That's our president.
That's right.
You know, those erectionists were storming the Capitol.
The insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this erection. I'm going to win this erection.
Well, that's what they were wielding, apparently, as they were storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
And I bet you the crowd just went wild.
I bet they did. Getting ready for...
Was that at Morehouse or was that the one in Detroit?
You know what? I don't even know anymore.
Doesn't matter, really.
It really doesn't matter.
No. Can we hear that again, Dan? I just love hearing
Really
the
want to hear it again?
Yeah, why not?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Calls the insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
And you know, this is supposed to be with Biden, right?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be his big moment.
Oh, yeah.
Where he can talk about, you know, Donald Trump and the insurrectionists, and they're storming the Capitol.
It's a big moment, all right.
And he just...
He goes. The insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
There you go.
Goodness.
I have this vision in my head where people who are in the audience start texting each other. Like, oh my God, did you hear what he said?
And I hope you vote for me on election night.
The insurrectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
There you go.
It's going to be a big election night, I can tell you. 24. Are you going to have one of those big WTN erection parties there, Don? It's going to be in a tent somewhere. Brought to you by one of your ED clients.
Moving on from that. Hey, did you guys hear about? I'm curious as to your thoughts on this. We got to move on.
Very well.
But if you want to hear another version of that, listen to our 535.
Yes.
Oh my Lord. Lord. Speaking of which, hey, so.
Hey, everybody, how about those cicadas?
Exactly. All right, there's a story I want your opinion on.
All right.
This is the headline. If I wanted to take calls on this, I could totally do a whole thing on this, like talk radio. Plus-size travel TikToker says she almost fainted after an airport worker refused to push her in a wheelchair off the plane. So this woman is so fat. How fat is she? She is so fat that she wanted a wheelchair to get her off the plane. So she gets off the plane and she sees down that big hallway thing, whatever that thing is that connects the plane to the airport.
Yeah.
The person that had her wheelchair took one look at her and ran. And now she's really angry.
Oh, I bet.
Now, it should be noted that the same plus-size model, not a model, a plus-size influencer.
Oh, she's an influencer.
Air quote.
Yeah.
Well, she's one of these people that, you know, she she's one of these people that demands that, she should get a free second seat for, if she buys one seat, she should, get a free second seat.
Because she has a vlog.
Because she's got a vlog. And she's really big. I'm just going to tell you, she's really big. And so now she's out there complaining because the person wouldn't, wheel her off. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, number one,
she's walking just fine in a video I see her in.
She says that she almost fainted.
Ow.
Now, you know who almost fainted? The person that thought he was going to have to wheel her off in a wheelchair across the airport.
Yeah. Goodness.
I mean, she's just lazy.
Yes.
She's lazy. That's what lazy and entitled is what she is. And by the way, I'm not fat shaming. Like, her brand is that she's a plus size, I'm air quoting here, she's really big, a plus size influencer. Well, if you're a plus size influencer, well then, and you're out there screaming that you should get special treatment because that's what this is.
Right.
She's saying that she deserves special treatment because she's so big.
I've seen bigger people than her.
Have you?
She's full. Absolutely, she's full of it.
Well, of course, she's videoing. I think
walking. She's walking just fine.
Okay, and she almost fainted.
Yeah. All right. She has 135,000 viewers.
That's more than I got.
Yeah.
we got like 95 on YouTube right now. You know what? Maybe
two of them are mom and dad in Tulsa.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Maybe we'd have more viewers if we played.
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
Yeah. Well,
you know what, Ken?
Out there yelling.
You know what, Ken?
What?
You're actually right. The story that I have clicked up on this plus size influencer.
Yeah.
She's really not that big.
No, she's not.
I mean, she looks really like ginormous from the back, but I mean, now I'm actually watching it.
Yeah, she's
fine.
Yeah. Walking in flip-flops. I mean, that's hard to walk in, period.
I want to know because they're videoing her walking down the aisle of the airplane, and somebody is apparently traveling with her and videoing the whole thing.
Of course.
This is the problem. When your claim to fame is that you're overweight, good Lord, man. Accomplish something, please.
I could have been famous years ago.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? That's exactly right. Oh, do you know Amy and I had a thing at the house over the weekend? We had a serious disagreement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did.
Can we go into it here, or will it be too...
So...
He's going to.
I was told, go to the grocery store. Your life is about to be changed by these oatmeal cream pastries.
All right.
Okay.
Now, the last thing I wanted to do was go to the dollar store at 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. But I dutifully went.
At the dollar store?
Yes, and I actually paid for them.
Oh.
And so...
Didn't take any gum.
I bought a box of these oatmeal cream-filled pastries.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what they're called. I should know.
Oatmeal cream pies.
Cream pies. There you go, Ken. And so I tried it. She was like reunited with a long-lost friend. And I was like, y'all got any water with this? Something nasty.
Really?
Oh, yeah, those things are awful.
Man, I used to eat them up.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't had them in a long time. Forgot all about them.
I'll bring you one.
Okay.
Because you know what? She told me to hide them in the house. I do that too, by the way. It's like, buy some Reese's peanut butter cups, but hide them and don't give me one unless I get really mad and angry and ask for it. Because if I know where they are, then I'm just going to, be double-fisted Reese's peanut butter cups all the time.
Absolutely. Hey, did you try this weekend what I told you to try last week? Frozen chocolate chips and peanut butter?
No, I didn't try that, Ken.
Yeah, you got to get on that, buddy.
Because you know what? If I keep eating that kind of stuff, maybe I can become really fat and I can become a TikTok influencer.
Well, possibly.
And get help at the airport.
And then I can have the pleasure of seeing someone run away from me that was supposed to be pushing me in a wheelchair.
Well, just come up with exotic ways to serve peanut butter and chocolate chips. Watch me eat it with a spoon. Watch me eat it with a fork. Watch me try to eat it through a straw.
In the hot tub.
In the hot tub.
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
Hey, you know who's coming up after After us.
Who's that?
And for Chris Hand. One Des Dickerson.
All right.
Man, how surreal
I was
is-
just thinking about Des the other day.
Really?
Yes.
I think about him a lot. I really do.
We love Des Dickerson around here, dude.
Absolutely.
Jeff, would you please tell Jeff?
Hey,
tell Jeff to go get Des Dickerson in the back.
Oh, okay.
Please. There you go. Off goes Jeff. Does Jeff know who Des Dickerson is?
Yes,
Jeff is
he
like
does.
a child.
Well,
does he?
Yeah, I talked to him about it.
Oh, okay.
And I said, it's so surreal that we work with Prince's ex-guitarist.
He went the wrong way.
Oh, did he?
Jeff went the wrong way.
Oh,
he turned
great.
right, not left.
Everybody knows who Des Dickerson is.
I didn't.
Did you not?
I didn't know Des Dickerson. No.
You didn't?
No.
You call yourself a child of the 80s?
Yeah, come on, man. Did you not watch MTV?
Well, okay. So once we did that whole thing. I don't think he thought it was very funny. But do you guys remember when he first started?
What was the tip-off?
There's that one line when he goes, "Party like it's 1999."
Well, no, he didn't do that.
Oh, that wasn't him?
That wasn't him.
Well, that's probably why I didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Who was it?
Well, the guy that said that was Prince.
That was Prince who actually said that.
Yeah. Dan.
Look at the video. The guitar player, there's one line that the guitar player does in 1999 where he says something to the effect of...
He says, life is just a party and parties were meant to last.
Is that Des?
That was the line.
All right, well, fine. That's what I did. And he still didn't think it was funny.
Okay.
So...
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
You know what?
Des is probably headed back down the hall.
Des is like, I'm out, man.
And he watched Jeff go the wrong way. Hey, I'm over here.
It's been like years. I don't know why the man doesn't have a key card. That's the other thing.
Yeah, what's the deal?
I don't know.
He can't get in the building.
I keep telling him to get a key card.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And the new guy doesn't know which direction to go. I even pointed in that direction. I said, it's the door over that way.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, man, these cream pies are very affordable at the Dollar General store.
How much are they, Kim Weaver?
$2.75 for a 12 count.
Perfect.
That's a whole bunch of cream pies.
I'll bring you a cream pie, Ken.
All right.
All right, very good.
I like that coffee you brought me, by the way, that Betsy Ross.
Betsy Russell.
What?
Who's Betsy?
Betsy Ross coffee.
I brought in some Rojo Elephant coffee for Ken Weaver. I brought the Betsy Ross blend. That stuff's really good.
I can't wait to try that Betsy Russell.
So, Ken, go ahead and say to me what you said to me yesterday on text, or do you want me to say it? Or would you rather me drop it?
Why don't we just drop it? And?
I'm sorry. You know what?
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
You know what? Every time we're in an awkward position, I'll just play that.
Yeah,
we'll replace our awkward position with Joe Biden's.
We'll just, we'll run a diversion with erectionists.
And the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill, patriots.
We're done. We're done. Got to be done.
Yeah. I can't wait for this erection because it's going to be a big erection night for old Joe.
I'll tell you one thing I texted Dan after he texted that. I did text him in all caps.
He did. He did.
But that's it.
That's it. That's all he texted. 8:53 on Nashville's Morning News. Des Dickerson is coming up next. Can't wait to hear Des. Dan Mendes here reminding you about the Glock Store's 4th annual open house. It is coming up on Saturday, June 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll be there along with Chris Hand and Matt Murphy. So much going on, a ton of giveaways and really low prices. How low are those prices? So low, we simply cannot advertise those low prices because, the folks at the Glock store would actually get in trouble with the vendors. And frankly, we don't have enough time to get through all of those specials. But here's what you can do. You can sign up for an email alert at glockstore.com OH24, as in Open House 24. OH24. This is a great place to do some Father's Day shopping, by the way. The Glock Store's open house on June 1st. Now, remember that web address to get that insider scoop. You can sign up for the email alerts for those guaranteed low prices. Glockstore.com/OH24. Do it for your two-way gun-supporting, gun-toting dad for Father's Day. The Glock Store's 4th annual open house, minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere, especially on June 1st. Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.